going. So I'll wait till some of the viewers come in and give me a decent sound check. And while that's working, I'll get the other device running. So you guys let me know if you get some audio. And if so, we'll try it again. I'm having a little bit of trouble with getting the program going today. Huh. We don't normally have audio troubles, but today is one of those days. YouTube can be, oh, fuck. And this says in resume. So we'll hit resume and see what happens. Let me know. Okay, you got sound. Okay, so we'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens because we had some issues with sound earlier. So, okay, fair enough. If you can hear me, we'll try it like that. Don't know what happened there. Okay, good evening, folks. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We'll try to make the program work like this. I don't know if the sound's going to happen on both devices or not, but you can see aptly title behind me. That's going to be the theme of the program is see everything, say nothing. Because I don't quite get this one. I don't, what I'm saying is there are things that are going on in this great nation that I'm mainly looking towards MAGA on some of this stuff and asking, why aren't they saying anything? Now, I'm going to give you a story that's in the news right now that you've probably heard. And for the life of me, I do not understand why this is not getting any sort of attention from MAGA. Maybe you guys can help me out. So I'll go ahead and cue this up because it's just beginning to make less and less sense as the time goes on. That's why the live is titled "See Everything and Literally Say Nothing."
Have you spoken to Jeanine Pirro about her decision to stop?
No, Jeanine Pirro made a mistake. It was vandalism. We did, I think, 78. One of the things was the reflecting. Hasn't worked since 1922 because it always leaked. It always leaked from 1922. You know, it's the largest, longest pool ever and all that. The concept is beautiful, but it always leaked because of the size, because of maintenance, whatever. But it was built in 1922, and from the day it was built, it leaked. Biden spent $58 million. Barack Hussein Obama spent much more than that. He said, I have an idea. Let's take the water from the Potomac. So they took the water from the Potomac, and it was putrid. It was putrid. It was a disaster. Biden was a disaster.
Okay, now he's just attacking former presidents, but that's not what we want to talk. We will obviously likely get into that, but you know you can't ask Trump about anything he's doing without attacking former presidents. But what I want to ask is, now remember this reflective pool he's boasting about was. According to him, it was vandalized. The pool was supposed to be blue, and now it's turning green. And according to Trump, it was vandalized. You guys know, and what he's really answering is the question of how do you feel about Jeanine Pirro? She's the U.S. attorney. You know her from Fox News as Judge Jeanine Pirro. She's the U.S. attorney, and he is saying that she choked. There are rumors that suggest that he had a pretty turbulent phone call with her and is contemplating firing Jeanine Pirro as a U.S. attorney, firing her because she dropped the charges against this Olympian that allegedly vandalized the pool. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty and admit Jeanine Pirro is a loyalist to President Trump. There is no way in hell if Jeanine Pirro, is there anybody, I guess I would ask you folks, is there anybody that believes if Jeanine Pirro thought she could make a legitimate case against this Olympian that allegedly vandalized the pool, that she would drop the charges? Is there anybody that believes that she has a legitimate case against this Olympian and she's just dropping the charges for the sake of it? Because Trump is saying that she choked and he feels confident it was vandalism by this guy. So why would Jeanine Pirro just drop the charges on an actual convict, a guy who's guilty of doing this shit for no reason at all? I'm going to submit to you that based on what I'm seeing, it appears that President Trump for whatever purpose there is trying to have an innocent man convicted of vandalism. And I will end up asking you folks as you come on, because I don't get why he would be trying to force Jeanine. If they got a case, and keep in mind, Jeanine Pirro, she's the prosecutor, not President Trump. So she's clearly seen all the evidence presented. If she's dropping the charges against this guy, it's because she don't have anything. So what is Trump seeing that Pirro's not seeing? Why is he pushing for charges and the U.S. attorney is not? We're titling this live See Everything, Say Nothing, because I'm asking, why is MAGA okay with this? Why are MAGA okay with Trump literally cannibalizing on loyal MAGA followers? Jeanine Pirro, listen, I may be left of center, but in terms of MAGA, Jeanine Pirro is what I would categorize as good MAGA. If you're MAGA, she's an ally. She is good MAGA. Why is it okay to watch him do this, potentially even fire her for this? There is no way in hell anybody believes that this woman, if she had a case to make against this Olympian, she would not pursue it. Trump is on the line suggesting that this man put a 350-foot gash in the reflective pool. And now, I can't think of the guy's name, but he's the former governor of North Dakota. He's the Secretary of the Interior under the Trump administration. Him and Jeanine Pirro are now, they're kind of back and forth now because they're saying it's vandalism. Jeanine Pirro's like, we don't have a case. Doug Burgum, thank you, Nolan Bubik. Thank you, Doug Burgum, former governor of North Dakota. He's now the Secretary of the Interior. Him and Kristi Noem, North and South Dakota. Kristi Noem being former governor of South Dakota. But anyway, they're trying to pursue a case against this guy, and it doesn't seem like there's any evidence whatsoever. If Jeanine Pirro had actual video footage or some solid evidence that this dude vandalized the reflective pool, she absolutely would pursue that case. I don't think there's anybody that identifies as MAGA, my beloved MAGA, that believes Jeanine Pirro is a traitor to the cause. So why is he going after her? And why is MAGA silent as Trump continues to cannibalize loyal MAGA? Jeanine Pirro, as I stated before, even though I may lean left, Jeanine Pirro is good MAGA. If you're MAGA, she's what I refer to as good MAGA. We could probably say the same about Marjorie Taylor Greene several months ago. She would have been good MAGA. Why is MAGA standing by watching this happen? Who's going to be next? So I do want to ask that in regards to just seeing everything and saying nothing. Also, we're only going to have a couple topics today before we get into the box and start taking calls. You guys know how the show is ran. Tap the screen, get likes up to 10,000, and we'll take the first caller at that. President Trump and obviously Iran continues to make news. This is like a tennis match, folks. The amount of back and forth, if you're trying to keep track of what's going on in Iran, it's like literally watching the prime days of McEnroe on the court. But this is Trump on Air Force One talking about the on-again, off-again war relationship with the nation known as Iran.
This time right now, and it would have been a massive attack. We're all set to go, but when the allies asked to call it off, you got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is I think there's a deal. There's a deal on Hormuz, and then there will be a deal on the nuclear, or you might call it the denuclearization of Iran. I call it the denuclearization of Iran.
The president says that the Gulf allies asked...
I want you to listen. Now, this is Fox News. You know Fox News is Trump friendly, but I want you to listen to something in particular they say here, and I'll end up discussing this with you because, like I said, see everything and say nothing.
The president says that the Gulf allies asked him to hold fire and that new talks with Iran are set to begin today. Taking a look at oil markets, WTI is below $80 on this news. Markets across the board are trading higher today. But for me, Josh, this feels like Lucy with the football or Groundhog Day or however you want to look at it, because we keep getting faked out by this conversation. A deal's pending. No, they're not responding to that. We're going to have to attack them. Oh, the allies told us to pull back. Your thoughts on why the market is responding this way? Because I would expect this time around, this has gone on enough that the market wouldn't really have faith in this.
I was looking at...
That's interesting that Fox Business is saying that we keep getting faked out. Well, first of all, faked out by who? At this point, I guess we'd have to ask, why does anyone keep believing the Trump updates on the Iran war? If you look at Trump's updates on the Iran war, and you compare them to what we've received from the nation of Iran in regards to their updates on the Iran war, their updates are fairly consistent. Their updates actually go along the line of what's been happening. Trump's updates on the Iran war are not consistent. And most of the things that Trump says does not happen. As an American, is it unpatriotic to start perhaps being more confident in the news coming out of Iran than the news coming out of the White House? Because it does appear that what Trump is, just yesterday, he was threatening to strike Iran with the hardest attack since World War II. Now, this is in addition to him saying a couple months ago that the Iranian civilization was going to cease to exist. What I also want to ask is, how was one man able to do all this? We have not declared war on this nation. And it's now, how the hell can you, on an actual executive order, deliver the greatest attack since World War II without any congressional approval? Why isn't MAGA saying any damn thing about this? Why is MAGA not saying anything about this? You know you would be doing it if Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary, Barack Obama, you know you'd be saying something. Why not now? This guy is threatening to do all of this stuff with no congressional approval. Why is MAGA silent on it? That's what we're going to discuss today. Those are the two topics. Going after Jeanine Pirro. Just like I said, I would define her as good MAGA. I don't understand why MAGA's once again being silent on that, just like with this war information, while Trump cannibalizes his own party. By the way, there's 20 plus states now, 20 plus states of our 50-state union that are suing the Trump administration for the new tariffs you've just imposed. Once again, I don't understand why MAGA's not saying anything, because that list of states includes red states that consist of farmers and a lot of MAGA that are being affected by these tariffs. Farmers, small business owners, hotels, just a host of business owners that are being affected by Trump's new round of tariffs. Once again, where is MAGA? Why are they just allowing this to happen? See something, say absolutely nothing. I suppose, before we start taking callers and tap the screen, get us up to 10,000, I suppose what we could do, maybe to lighten the blow, is deflect to something that Biden or Obama did. I mean, that generally is the go-to. Why would you expect us to say something when you didn't say nothing about Jimmy Carter or something? I suppose we could do some deflection, but why is MAGA not saying anything about this stuff? And we haven't even gotten into what's on the horizon as the big, beautiful bill and healthcare subsidies and all of that stuff begins to take effect at the beginning of next year. But we'll save that conversation for a few weeks down the line. But MAGA's been affected by this stuff. This is not, shit that's only hurting immigrants or sanctuary cities or liberal areas. This stuff is affecting MAGA. Why are they not saying anything? So looking in the comment section and tap the screen, that's why Trump attacked him. He wanted what was best for the country, said Shanti. I'm going to assume there's a bit of sarcasm in there, but like I said, Judge Jeanine Pirro is absolutely the definition of good MAGA. She's good MAGA, so I don't know why MAGA is okay with Trump attacking her, and even up to and including threatening to now fire her for not going after this guy. Based on what I'm seeing, it looked like Trump was trying to arrest and have prosecuted an innocent guy. Just a dude that was innocent. In the comments, last week, America attacked Iran's infrastructure, a water desalination plant, and in return, I am aware of this, Kurt. Iran attacked America's infrastructure, a desalination plant in Georgia and Minnesota. I believe there's more than just two of them. I believe they've done it to more than two of them. And by the way, when Iran did hack into that desalination plant in Minnesota, Trump is blaming Governor Walz. Trump is blaming Governor Walz for that, Governor Tim Walz for that attack. As if Tim Walz would screw up the water supply in his own state. You can't make it up. Tap the screen, get us up to 10,000. In the comments, President Trump is being used for God's plan at this time. What is God's plan? Now I know there's supposed to be a second coming. Is President Trump going to be the final commander in chief for this great nation? We're at the end of the last days. Perhaps he's going to come back this time with fire instead of water. Maybe President Trump himself will be the arsonist. Let me know. What do you mean by President Trump is being used for God's plan? Is he going to be the guy that comes up from downstairs to claim the bad people? How is Trump going to be implemented in God's plan? You MAGA believe nonsense. Even if I don't get the rest. Way to write your comment. End it. We are going to come back with lower oil. Look at this amazing economy, says Shanti. Shanti, you in rare form today. I don't think anybody would look at the economy in its current state and walk away saying it's in an amazing stance. Trump is sweating because Israel got the Epstein files for him. I hear so much in regards to why Trump isn't pushing back on Israel. Some folks are even going the route of the Mossad, and you know what they're capable of. So I don't know. Is it Epstein related? Is it, is it some other threat in there? I don't know. But I don't understand why MAGA isn't speaking up. We could throw the Epstein files in there in regards to see something, say nothing, because MAGA was really gung-ho on getting to the bottom of the Epstein stuff. They felt that the Biden administration was not forthcoming with that stuff, maybe keeping secrets. Trump becomes president and you don't get to the bottom of it any greater than under Biden. And somehow, some way, MAGA just started to change its tune. They're kind of quiet on it now. So I don't get that one either. But we're talking about see something, say nothing. Listen, Trump doesn't know God. He knows greed, though. Wow, says a positive change. Okay, fair enough. God is only using Trump to show the world that we need to pray daily to show us that racism and evilness still exist. Whoa, couldn't he call him home? Big Bo C? If your claim is that Trump is put down here to show us in the world that evil and racism still exists, couldn't the Lord call him home to get that kind of out the way? Wouldn't it be easier to do that instead of giving us this horror film? Mossad makes the CIA look like prescribed. That's what I've heard as well. The Mossad is pretty effective, but I don't know if they would. I don't know if Israel would be as effective at everything it does if it wasn't for the assistance of America. Let me go to the box. We'll make it happen with Rainy. Long time no hear from. Good evening, Rainy Kane. If it brings her up, don't think that's going to happen. Let me make sure my devices are on Wi-Fi because sometimes we have a hard time bringing up guests. We're going to come in the comments here. Trump's tax return says he donated $130 million to charity. Which charities? I mean, I would sure like to know which ones. I mean, I suppose anything is possible. That doesn't sound like the Trump that we've come to know and love, but anything is possible. Rainy, good evening. Rainy, are you there? You're on mute, I think it says. Can you hear me? Okay, apparently Rainy had some audio troubles. We'll continue on with El Pappy. Good evening, El Pappy. Welcome to the program. Having trouble bringing El Pappy, good evening.
Hey Tim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
For having me up.
Okay, before we start chopping it up, I want to ask you something. I have not heard this, but I just saw it in the comments. Trump allegedly donating 130 mil to charity. Have you heard any sign of that? Have you heard that before? I gotta ask.
Come on, Tim, next subject. Man, you know damn well Trump, what, to his daughter and sons? It's only charity he gonna donate, man. He ain't donating to no damn charity.
I'm going about.
Who said that?
It was in the comments section.
Man, Trump ain't donating to no damn charity. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, you know the man. You know the man didn't take a salary. I mean, he's America first.
That's a lie too, man. Come on, man. Next subject. Let's talk about something for real.
So, have you heard about Judge Jeanine Pirro, or now she's the U.S. attorney? This whole reflective pool, and they were claiming that this Olympian did damage, vandalized the pool, and now Jeanine Pirro, her department has decided to drop the charges against this guy. And Trump is saying that she choked and what she did was wrong. Have you heard this?
Yeah, I heard it, man. It's another female getting ready to bite the dust.
Why would he do that? Okay, because I'm going to assume you agree with me that Jeanine Pirro is loyal MAGA. She's what I call good MAGA.
Oh man,
yeah. So if she, I'm assuming you agree also that if she had a legitimate case to make against this guy, she would make it. So why do you think Trump is pushing her to do something that clearly she does not have a case for?
I gotta tell you, she is surprising me, because even though she didn't have a case, I thought she would push it through. But the fact that she doesn't have one and she's letting it go, kudos to her. But if you had asked me before this, as much of a MAGA lover she is, I'd say no, man. It doesn't matter. She gonna push whatever through.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you're seeing her more like Carolyn Livet.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I would. Yeah,
Margaret Green. All of them, and the fact that these are probably some of the loyal MAGA, and yet he pushing them out, man. I'm like, it's a woman thing too.
Well, I mean, so okay, if there's no case, do you think that Trump is trying to perhaps convict an innocent man? I mean, because like we both agree, Jeanine would push a case if she had one. Why is Trump trying to get her to continue this if she's saying the man is innocent?
Man, Trump gonna convict the innocent man. Come on. The man went to how many when he thought the election, just thinking judges gonna push things through, and for the election fraud, and everybody denied him because he doesn't have the evidence. He doesn't work on evidence.
But what would be the benefit? What would be the benefit of convicting an innocent man?
About it, the benefit is just to get the smoke off of him.
Just throw an innocent man to the wolves just to divert attention.
Man, everybody name one person who's been around Trump, let's just say for 10 or more years, and they don't end up biting the dust. Elon, the richest man in the world. Trump
I can't argue with that. You're right. He and Trump has had a falling out. Him and Elon. Something just not to get too far off topic, but this whole data center craze that people are upset about, and the way they're doing it, where they're opening up these data centers with non-disclosure agreements, and it's all being done under secrecy all over the country. I think Elon has something to do with that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And the killing part is this. Elon was in our government just long enough to get everything he needs. You don't think he knows more than he's telling everybody?
Yeah. I absolutely do. I think that giving him access to all of that stuff is probably part of this. When he would Doge or whatever,
he has access to. There's no telling how much he knows. He might know as much as Trump.
Yeah.
And now he's an adversary. I mean, Trump has put us in probably one of the worst situations ever.
In what way?
Well, he can't keep his mouth shut, and you can buy him. That's two bad combinations.
He's a billionaire.
And he wants $1 billion more, Tim.
Let me correct myself. He's a multi-billionaire. You're telling me he still can.
And he wants $1 billion more, Tim. What's the fuck wrong with you, man? It's the same thing.
I'm telling you, my beloved MAGA has told me that not only did this man take the office with the notion of doing what makes America great so much he didn't take a salary, he's also given $130 million in charity.
Oh, Tim, don't ride that horse. Tim, don't.
I'm telling you what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing.
Don't ride that horse, man. Don't ride that horse. You know damn well. I don't know about that. Well, why would I take a salary of what did president make? 350, 400?
I think it's about a half. I think it's 400 or 500, about $500,000 a year.
And I'm making $2.2 billion.
It's a couple of dollars more. He made a couple of dollars more.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll take a couple of dollars more. So, man, come on. And then he isn't even. You got this short film out. Well, when you ask the question, what has Trump done? I always say the immigrants. But you got a short film out showing where he only did 590,000 immigrants compared to Biden doing 4.4 million, Obama doing 3. So he ain't even doing that.
Well,
so he ain't doing shit.
But in defense of Trump, he does it in your face, and it's like theater. So he's going to get more credit because you see it. Go ahead.
No, if you could do Biden, since everybody like to jump on him, give 4 million with nobody getting hurt, no problems, no shipping them to another country, all this bullshit, and here comes Trump with 590,000. And people that got killed. He done hired more ICE people. All this. Yeah, I think it's a problem.
But you're throwing away the good meat. You understand, even though Trump's numbers are low, that's what the MAGA side want. We're seeing people get arrested. We're seeing families cry. We're seeing folks, perhaps ICE may have to lay a couple of them down. That's the good part. You're not giving Trump credit for the action. Folks want the action.
When Biden did more with less.
But they want the action.
They had the action when he did 4 million people.
We didn't come in for the numbers, sir. We came in for the cruelty. We want the cruelty. You're not getting the cruelty with Biden's boring. We don't see people getting ran over by cars and shit. He's not fun.
So this is where I'm at. I normally don't agree with him fluffing in. But you're arguing against a short you made.
I'm just telling you, maybe I've seen the light. Maybe I've seen the light. Because, listen, when Biden or even under Obama, who has this, the deporter-in-chief, the guy with all these huge deportation numbers, under Obama's watch, there weren't these really good videos where the MAGA could be saying things like, see, this is what I voted for, and get them all out. Under Trump, you get that action. They didn't come for the numbers; they came for the action.
You know what my grandfather used to tell me, because he used to work on the railroad. An empty car makes the most noise.
My grandmother had farms, and that was
and that's what Trump is. An empty car. He's making the most noise, and everybody reacts to the noise, but there's nothing there. Okay, the man says this and that, and he's lying to us constantly. How can you possibly believe him about anything at this point? Even if he was telling the truth, he done lied about so many things where you can't take his word for it.
Well, give me three of his greatest hits. You want to suggest that Trump is a liar? Folks are going to say everybody from crooked Hillary to Biden are the one. Give me 3 of Trump's greatest hits if you're going to suggest he's not honest.
Man, we ain't got to go far. Look at the war. Everything he says about the war is lying.
Well, he is stopping one of our greatest adversaries from developing nuclear weapons. Is that not something he deserves credit for?
Come on, Tim. I mean, everybody, MAGA's fine. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Honestly, I want you to honestly answer this question.
Sure.
How often did you wake up every morning and say, damn, Iran might bomb us with a nuclear weapon?
I mean, I did not.
No, Tim. Yes,
I never. But hold on. The answer's never. But I'm not in the region where Iran is. If there's a lot of Americans that live in Dubai and live in the Middle East that could be at risk of this stuff. So it wasn't
but
us.
That ain't what he said, Tim. He said they're making bombs to bomb the United States. He didn't say that region, Tim. He said the United States.
Well, they did prove they had a. We gotta have a conversation. They did prove they had a ballistic missile that was capable of great distances. Not quite the United States, but they're working on it.
Tim, it's been a lot. That's been a lot. The war is over. And when we did bomb the nuclear plant, what's the word he used when he bombed it? Tim?
Obliterated.
Yes. Okay. And now all of a sudden they got nuclear bombs. The plant is up and running again.
Well, they were getting close. According to him, they were getting close.
Man, everything in the middle. I haven't even got to the lies in the United States. I'm working on lies in the Middle East.
Give me another one.
Venezuela boats are carrying drugs.
How can you prove that's not true?
Absolutely.
How can you prove it's not true?
How the hell 2 outboard motor boats going to make it all the way to the United States?
Maybe they had a lot of fuel on them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if they had that much fuel, they ain't got no damn drugs.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, some of those boats had more than 2 motors. I think one of them had like 3 or 4. That is a really good point.
Whatever, Tim. You talking about, what is it, about 1,700 miles in the ocean with outboard motors? Come on, man.
It's a few knots more than you would think the boat could do. I mean, so.
And then when they shot them down, were there any drugs found?
Maybe the weapons were so thorough it destroyed the cargo and everything.
Man, they didn't even kill the man out sometimes. So why are they gonna kill the weapons? What the fuck?
You're not making this easy. I'm trying.
I am making it easy. It's lying. He lying. What the?
Is there anything you believe coming out the mouth of our commander-in-chief?
I would have to question his name at this point.
What the fuck? Okay, so then I have to ask, if you're seeing Trump allegedly being this dishonest, why has MAGA not seen it that way?
Oh, man, you keep on asking that question. Has it popped in your head yet that this is really a cult?
Even now?
Come on, Tim. The average person with average sense, and the ones that do have average sense, they're leaving MAGA. But the hardcore ones that just, they believe everything, your dumbass straight talk, believe the man should be on Mount Rushmore 4 times. All those type, man, they're mad, man. That's a cult. It's a cult. The man has done everything in the world to convince you and lie, and he lied apparently, and this and that, what I'm saying, I don't mean, but you still ride his coattail.
What?
So either you're a cult or you're so down in your luck, you're just hoping things will change.
Are you sure it's not jealousy? In the comments, 52 Ricochet Rabbit says, libtards are so jealous of Trump. The guy has been winning a lot of personal victories. You sure jealousy ain't at play here?
Jealousy? I can't never be motherfucking president. What I'm jealous of?
Whoa, your side. Maybe the liberals are...
because no matter what they may think, just like all the things that he do bad affect me, all the things he does good would affect me. So, no, ain't nobody jealous. In the long run, you want him to do good and get his ass out of there after 4 years. But jealousy, man, that's the stupidest, dumbass shit.
Well,
jealous of what? The president doing fucked up shit? Like I said, if he wins, we all win.
Well, I got Juice in the comments saying liberals are indeed jealous of Trump, and Alter Ego says that you wish you could pull a lady like Melania.
Who said that last one?
It's in it. Alter Ego. Alter Ego.
Alter Ego can't even get it up to pull any motherfucking body. He can't even get a crack in. The fuck you talking about?
I'm trying. Oh my God.
He can't even get it up. That motherfucker need EDDDS to even get it up.
All right, so I mean, we got to get you somehow. So that look, he is our president. So at the end of the day, you are rooting for America. Am I correct?
I am rooting for always, but it comes a point, even with my rooting, it's like, man, this ain't gonna go. The dude lying too much. I mean, what do you know? You want to believe the best, but you know there's a lie. How many times mother got kids slapped in the face and realize dude is just lying?
Well, like I said, MAGA has a different opinion on it. I got to move it on, El Papi, but MAGA has a different opinion than you. So,
all right, hey, one more thing, man.
Sure.
When Michael come on, Travel Man, Dinkel, man, give him some time to speak. You give that knucklehead dumbass Mega Reacts half your fucking show, and don't nobody want to hear that, man.
Well, first of all,
the people that make sense, you take them off.
Well, first of all, you do understand we love our MAGA as well. We want to give MAGA plenty of. We don't get as many MAGA, so when MAGA call in, we give them respect. We give them. You do want to hear from MAGA, right?
First of all, I ain't French, so take that motherfucking we out. You.
Okay, I'm listening.
You want to talk to MAGA, and it would be at least interesting if he has some valid. Not MAGA. Let me see, who's the only one that I don't know which
Are
one.
you a fan of Straight Talk Commerce?
Nah, he's a dumbass.
Gen X is Proud Boy. He's MAGA.
No, have some conservative. And I don't like nothing he says, but at least he's polite with it.
Okay.
You know, and he has a good sense of humor.
All right.
So yeah,
handsome conservative is he's just Republican now. He's no longer a MAGA. What about Jeremy?
No.
Jeremy's Jeremy's a conservative. What about Jeremy?
Jeremy's a jerk.
You sound like you just have Republican derangement syndrome. Are you sure you just don't like Republicans?
I go to this one, Tony L. I wish you would come there. I sent you an invite. I wish you would come there, man. Now he's not. He doesn't call himself MAGA, but he is a Republican.
Okay.
And that's some good talk because they make sense.
If I see it, I'll certainly come through. If I see it, I'll come through.
Yeah, I'm telling you, come through, man, please. But I'm gonna let you go, man. Thanks for having me up.
Anytime, appreciate it. Tap the screen, get us on up to 30,000, if you will, in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the wildest show on earth. Put your hands together for the one among many, the handsome liberal, handsome conservative. Thank you for your support. Love that intro. In the comments also, Moran says, Tim El Papi does not need to buy into Trump. You don't want to buy Trump products. Trump products either don't show up or they fall apart. Well, the Trump Bible didn't fall apart. I don't think the Trump shoes fell apart. I don't know about the Trump watches. I mean, can a steak fall apart? Trump steaks? Can they? Alter Ego. Appreciate the hat and mustache. El Papi as well. Thank you guys for showing some love and support. And yes, folks, help your boy out with the hat and mustache, TikTok, caps, go. Shanti says, I got my tariff check. Then you would be the only one. Because I have not even heard that tariff checks are being sent out. By the way, we are talking about the fact that that's another side topic, is that 20 some odd states are suing President Trump over the latest round of tariffs. I'm asking a question, which you see behind me, see everything, say nothing. Why is MAGA not saying anything in regards to Trump doing some things that you would assume MAGA would not be favorable to, such as him contemplating allegedly getting rid of Jeanine Pirro because she would not pursue charges against this Olympian that allegedly vandalized the reflective pool? As I've been saying on the show, Jeanine is what I would refer to as good MAGA. I may lean left, but I can recognize folks that are down and loyal to the cause. Janine Pirro's good MAGA. Why would you even think about getting rid of her in regards to this whole Olympian vandalizing the reflective pool? As I stated earlier, is there anybody that believes if Janine Pirro had a case against this Olympian that she wouldn't pursue it? If she's dropping the charges, it's because there's nothing there. Keep in mind, Janine Pirro, as the U.S. attorney, we know her on Fox as Judge Janine Pirro, so she's obviously a judge. She's obviously been a lawyer in her past. And she has the knowledge, the wherewithal to know, as the U.S. attorney, she cannot just go and lie to a federal judge on this Olympian. Like President Trump can lie without any concern of being held accountable. Janine Pirro, it's different. First of all, even if Trump pardons her, that does not stop the bar from, disgracing her and taking her law license away. She may want that. Even though she's getting older and things like that, she doesn't need it. She has plenty of money and all that, but she may want that. Just like Giuliani ended up, because he hung around Trump, he lost his ability to practice law. It's not that he really want to do it, but you want to be part of the club. Rudolph Giuliani now went down in legal history as being shamed. You don't want to lose your credentials. So Janine Pirro knows I can't just go in front of a federal judge and make up shit. Trump can do that. Nobody's going to fuck with Trump. She would pay a price for that. And of course, she would also absolutely, after doing that, need a pardon, because it would be not only unethical, but probably criminal to actually go after somebody is innocent. It would be criminal. So she's, why do I want to fuck up my reputation doing something that I know is not true? And shout out to her for having that type of pushback. That ain't easy to do against someone like Trump. Let me go back to the box. And I'm asking, why isn't MAGA saying anything about that? Because I don't understand that. Tamar, New Jersey's best. Good evening, Tamar. Help your boy out the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 35,000. Tamar, good evening.
What's up, Tim? Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Just 1 second. I'm just going
in the comments. Go ahead. You do the in the comments. One of the viewers says Janine Pirro got her cut off. Janine Pirro got her cut of the reflecting pool money to be a scapegoat. What did you say? Somebody paid? How did she get paid up to be a scapegoat? How? Cafaro's coming back to fix what his company sabotage. I don't see how Janine Pirro, who would have paid Janine Pirro for doing that? That doesn't make sense. So yesterday, Trump said he is holding back on the strike. Now today, back to striking them. The mind is of a delusional man. Okay, you there tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm here, Tim.
Okay, I want you to hear this clip.
I didn't think you was going to pull me up.
Okay, well, sometimes here you are. I don't know if you heard this. This is Trump on Air Force One. I want to discuss this.
It would have been a massive attack. We're all set to go. But when the allies asked to call it off, you got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is I think there's a deal. There's a deal on Hormuz, and then...
Okay, he's saying the allies asked to call the strike off on Iran. Who are the allies? What allies is he talking about?
Tim, I don't think he knows. I think he's the first schizophrenic president in history that he has multiple personalities. He has one where he's actually playing emperor. Then he has the one where you have to actually make him win his little golf tournament stuff. Then he has the one where he wants to be a WWF star, like back in the 80s. But hey, I noticed I said WWF, not WWE.
Right, that's the original, not WWE.
And Truth Social is Mean Gene. Is Mean Gene. Is today's Mean Gene. He's got all these different personalities that he just displays, and he likes to talk tough for nothing. Like this is the most craziest administration that I've ever seen in life. I've never seen nothing like this.
Well, in regards to him,
he's got the talking points.
In regards to him liking
he's
it,
got the point where
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the talking point where he says, "Oh, we're stopping them from getting a nuclear bomb. We're stopping them for doing this." He even got you with the borders. He got you repeating it.
I think he deserves credit on the border. I think Trump, out of everything the Trump administration has done, I do give him credit for his immigration and border policies because it's locked down like no other has done. I give him credit for that. I may have to end up resetting my TikTok. It looked like it's freezing, but go ahead.
But as far as he said, the allies, he said it was Saudi Arabia, UAI or some shit, UAE or whatever that country is. He was saying it was those countries, but from what I understand, they were upset because they were readying themselves for the attack. I think Israel too.
I know Israel does not want us to halt on any kind of attack, but when it comes to nations like Saudi Arabia and all of them, I think they may be more concerned because our alliance with Saudi Arabia, unlike Israel, is only dependent on Trump. The next administration may not be allied with Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and some of these other countries. Trump is the one that has suddenly became real close to the Middle East. Before Trump, it was just we were really good friends with Saudi Arabia. Really good friends with Israel, maybe Kuwait. But Trump is, because of, I believe, money probably, like Qatar and all of that shit. We wasn't holding it down for them like we are now. That's something unique to Trump.
Well, Turkey too, right?
Yeah.
Turkey too, because they're part of NATO, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah. They're kind of.
That even happened. How is Turkey part of NATO?
They are part of NATO. But we weren't that close to them like we are now. Under Trump is kind of ostracized, and this is what's crazy because folks be trying to suggest that Trump is a racist or something like that. But Trump is ostracizing the white people and then falling in love with the brown people in the Middle East. He's making a lot of
because he has investments over there. It's because he has investments over there. That's the only reason. If he didn't have investments like his little golf course and his hotels, then he wouldn't have no need for them. But that means
if he's willing to invest with the brown folks and ostracize the white folks, that would say that he's not a racist. The Democrats, the African Americans got him wrong. He's not a racist.
Look, you can still be a racist and do business with people.
And then,
what does color have to do with anything? The color is green.
He could have did business with France or Russia, or could have did business with Germany. He's doing business with the brown folks.
Not like he can do with them. Look at that bullshit ass border peace. Who are paid into that? A lot of the Middle Eastern countries paid into that. And what are they getting for it? They're getting their infrastructure destroyed by Iran.
Yeah. How about this one though? With Trump coming along with Obama's JCPOA and Trump just breaking the deal under the guise that I thought it was a dumb deal, what are the chances with Trump making all these deals with the Middle East, countries that we normally are not very friendly with? What are the chances of a new administration after Trump coming along and breaking any deal he makes with them?
I mean, most people don't break deals like Trump does. Trump is doing a lot of stuff different than he's changed the whole way the presidency has been done, and nobody's seen this coming like the way that he's doing it. You get what I'm saying? Like he's finding loopholes to justify everything he does, whether you think it's crooked or not. They're sitting there.
So that would make him a smart man, would it not?
It's not him. This is most of the people from this Project 25. Oh, this is mostly coming from the Project 25. Russell Vought and Stephen Miller and the rest of the crew. Is it safe to say then he has indeed surrounded himself with the best and brightest? If they're finding loopholes and he's benefiting from it, I'm sorry. I got a phone call. You got to go? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay. What I'm saying, I don't got to go. Is he indeed, because it looks like he's a smart businessman. He's finding loopholes that is greatly enriching him. It sounds like when it comes to looking for loopholes, he has surrounded himself with the best and brightest. No. No. I'm not. $2 billion in 1 year? Who does that? $2 billion in 1 year? You don't give him any credit for making all that money? No. Because it's all he's not even supposed to be making it that way.
What is?
He stole. How much money did he steal from his people from the Bitcoins and stuff? He stole money from his contributors from that. He's taking money for freaking pardons. He's pardoning.
Wait, how can you say? Look, wait.
I'm telling you.
If you get involved in crypto, you know ahead of time that is an investment. All investments do not pay off. How are you suggesting that he stole money from his crypto?
He did.
How?
He stole. I don't know exactly how, but I've heard it. He did it as soon as he became president. He did it the second term.
I'm aware that he has his own coin. Most of the investors, with the exception of him, lost big time. He
and they
profited.
all got fucked.
Yeah, but
all his investors got screwed.
I mean that happens sometimes. If you invest in
out of millions.
But it is, you are investing in crypto. Some investors lose.
Yeah, because of Barron. Barron is the one that got him involved in the crypto.
And it's been a windfall. It's been a huge payoff.
Yeah, but Trump didn't do it himself. He's just got people that's helping him get richer. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's what most wealthy people do. They say
that's not the head steps and stuff like that. Those are people behind the scenes that he didn't appoint.
Yeah, but he's a wealthy businessman that has folks who manage his accounts, et cetera, that help him get wealthier. That's something that probably applies to all wealthy businessmen. I'm sure Elon and Jeff Bezos and all of them have guys like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but it's never been a president that has enriched himself like this guy has in history.
Yeah.
You name one. I'll wait.
No, I agree he's made more money, but some would say we needed a businessman that was business savvy, and
he's not helping the country. He's helping himself. Where's the money? Only thing he's investing in is and he's not. That's coming from our tax dollars. Is doing the freaking reflection pool and he's trying to build the big arch and the grass and the helicopter landing pad and all this other stuff. That's the stuff he's trying to do.
Do you have any issue against beautifying our nation's capital?
But not right now. We have the more important things to worry about.
When will we not have something more important to worry about? I mean, won't that always be the case?
Yeah, but right now we have a war that they're not calling a war that he started. Gas is super high. Yes, of course, for the MAGA people, yes, it did reach $5 under Biden for at one point, but that was quick and then it dropped and it went back down. This one is going back up. If I'm not
mistaken. Yeah, but okay, so you're paying a few bucks more for a few things here and there, but don't you feel under Trump the border is secure and we're preventing a major adversary from getting a nuclear bomb? How about the fact that you feel safer under Trump? How about the fact that as an American you're safer under this president?
No, we're not. It's the same thing. Iran was never a threat, and you know how I know they wasn't a threat? Because when North Korea was close to getting their bomb, what were they doing? They were firing rockets. Remember the whole Rocket Man?
Yeah, but what about all the unknown immigrants that Trump is getting folks out of this country? We didn't know who they were. Biden let them all in. He's also getting rid of neighbors that may be harmful to you.
So how did Biden deport more people than Trump has already in his two administrations? And he's not dragging people off the street like dogs, like a dog catcher either.
Well, Biden deported more because Biden let in a lot more.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that they did let immigration get out of control. That's the reason why that's one of the reasons why we have what we have now. Is because Biden did let the immigration get out of control.
Yeah, bringing up if you bring up that Biden, if you bring up or try to give credit to Biden for deporting more people than Trump, it's almost akin to giving credit to the arson for putting out the fire, the arsonist, because he wouldn't have had all those immigrants to kick out if he didn't let them in.
But he gave a lot of people the TPS or TP,
right,
or whatever, the temporary protectors stay. I think they were doing a little bit too much of that, in my opinion. But I don't think they was just letting people in like they was running in the border like born in East LA. Remember at the
Well, you could.
I don't think it was like that.
Well, for a time, you could show up at the border and put in an asylum case, and they would let you run free in the country until your court date came up, and it was up to you if you wanted to show up to court. So yeah, it was pretty easy to get in here for a while. You could just show up to the border, say I'm coming, I'm requesting an asylum case, and then they would take your information down, and then let you go ahead and roam free in the country, and you had a court date that you had to show up to, and at that time you could plead your case, and they would decide whether or not you could stay here. But the obvious intention was to never show up to the court date.
What do you think? Why do you think they was doing that? That part I can't argue about. I still don't give Trump credit for shit.
Why do I think the Biden administration?
He's the worst nightmare.
Why do I think the Biden administration was letting him in?
Yeah, it wasn't like they could vote.
Well, no, but the more brown America gets, the more likely it is to turn Democrat, because most of the Republican vote is white people. There is some Hispanics, but most of the Republican vote is white. So if the country gets more brown, it's going to be more Democratic as time goes on. It's just not only from that standpoint, but there is just a huge element of anti-immigrant, anti-brown people within the Republican Party. So the majority of them are not going to ultimately vote Republican as they have offspring become legal and they can vote. Most of them folks are going to, I say outside of maybe the Cubanos and the Venezuelans, the rest of those folks are going to likely end up voting Democrat.
But how they're not getting citizenship because they're not here?
No, but it's down the line. You're thinking, no, it's not. You're not thinking immediate. You're doing something that will benefit your party down the line. The next generation, because a lot of those folks are going to have children and create offspring.
If that's true, that's a very stupid idea, and it's the reason why we have what we have now. And these people, I wouldn't even call myself a Democrat, but I've voted for Democrats lately more than I've ever voted for Democrats. I have voted for Republicans before, but not presidential. I've never voted for a president.
What's making you vote more for Democrats now than Republicans? What is it about the Republican Party that's shying you away from voting for them?
Because they're so because they make it look like Democrats hate are not Americans. You know, I go on different platforms and I see why does Democrats hate America? Why do Democrats? There was one person that had broken down socialists, and then he said liberals were traitors. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I listen to Democrats speak, and they don't even spread the way, they don't talk about the way that they talk. Even so, I don't even see people have that, they have the background would say that stuff. And it's just crazy how they're really trying to spread violence almost. For example, I was listening to this live. This lady and their mother, I think somebody else was telling you about it the other day.
Okay.
She was on there and she said something about stopping communism, and she said we can either do it the new way or the old way. So I'm like, well, what's the old way? They're like, nobody would really answer it, but they were really talking about talk not talk, and I'm like, wow, they're really talking crazy.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, to me, it's very similar to what the right says about the left, calling everybody on the right racist. They're saying things like the term racism has lost its value because the Democrats call everybody racist. Well, I'm saying the same thing like what you're saying. Calling everybody communist and socialist is making the term get devalued. Not to mention saying that everybody on the left hates America. Yeah, it'll devalue the term because there's thousands, literally tens of thousands of Democrats that are either in the military or 6 feet under that were defending this country. So the idea that Democrats hate America, what do you think? You think the military is all Republican? There are people that are there are people right now in a war zone fighting for this country that are Democrats. So yeah, to me it loses value when they go, but that's coming from the very top. That's coming from the president.
Yeah, and it's like they're like seals clapping for everything he does, and it's like, how did that benefit you? I'll wait. How did that benefit you? That one, oh, he's the greatest president. Okay, What exactly did he do for you that makes you for you and yours that makes you feel that he's the greatest president ever?
Well, the perception is that it'll happen in the future. I got to move it on tomorrow, but the perception is what Trump is doing right now will protect their kids and protect this nation going forward. So they're willing to make a small time sacrifice right now for the greater good of this country going forward. So that's why they're supporting it.
And your boy MAGA reacts, bro. My goodness, he's got to be one of the. I mean, I give him credit, girl. Every time he's in there, he comes up. But if that's the best that MAGA has to offer, and I always tell them comment section gangsters, come on up. You guys are sitting in the comment section talking all this crap. Come help your boy. Get up there. At least MAGA reacts, gets up there and talks. You guys stay in the comment section talking all this crazy crap, but you will not come up.
Well, we invite MAGA up all the time, so hopefully we can get more of them up. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Real quick.
They can't talk. They talk all that shit, but they can't talk.
Well, when they come here, they speak. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thanks for coming through as always. Appreciate it.
All right, Tim.
Yep. In the comments, real quick, Handsome Conservative says, you ask me, you need a lot less Democrats on your show and a lot more conservatives. Well, our door is open to as many conservatives as many conservatives that want to come through. We don't block, ban, or censor any conservative. We are a MAGA-friendly program, so it doesn't matter what your politics are. We don't censor or limit you in any sort of way because you got a difference of opinion. So if you are a conservative, if you do want to call in, you need to do so on the Instagram, Clapper, TikTok, or Substack app. Doesn't cost you any money to call in. If you have the app, Substack, Clapper, TikTok, or Instagram, the Handsome Liberal is the name across all platforms. You can call in and certainly tear me a new one or actually agree, complain, compliment, whatever you want to do. That's how we do it. Certainly in regards to talking about the day's ongoing topics. But yeah, we don't run from conservatives. Ellie says, Tim, stop spinning and calling corruption a big business move. Stop normalizing it. Words have meaning, and we have to call it like it is, corruption. Well, look, some of what Trump is doing, I could see the argument for corruption. A lot of it I could see. But the fact is, what he is doing is taking advantage of the honor system we have in place. Scott Penny, thank you for the hat and mustache TikTok cap go. And real quick for you folks on TikTok, I'm aware that it seems to be freezing. I could reset it and that would go away. We got almost a couple hundred of you in here and several of you waiting to come on the program. So if I reset it, you'll have to basically just look when I come. In fact, I'll do it now. I'll reset the live. So I'll go down and I'll come back up. Let me know in the comments. Are you seeing me freezing? Let me know because I can reset it and then pop back up in like 20 seconds. Because I seen somebody said turn the Wi-Fi on. Are you guys hearing me okay on TikTok? Some people say yes, no. Okay, I don't know. So you guys want me to reset it? I can reset it real quick on TikTok. You're good, MAGA Wi-Fi, not freezing. Okay, some of you saying yes, some of you because it's freezing in my point of view, and I don't know why it's doing it because we got good Wi-Fi out here. I'll reset it right now for you folks on TikTok. If you're watching on any of the other apps, nothing's going to change. So give me a second on TikTok. I'll reset it and come back up in a brief moment here. Don't know why I've done that. What it says, can't disconnect when there are no guests. What are you talking? Oh, okay, I'm in the wrong thing. Shit, I don't know how to work this shit. I'm not savvy enough apparently. I think, did we take it down? Okay, I'll dismiss that and reset it. Give me a second if you guys are watching on the other apps. We're not going anywhere. I'm just starting the live back up here. And I'll make sure the live goes. I'll read a couple comments. A cunning person is someone who is clever at planning things to get what they want by using trickery, deceit, and or shyness. Well, there's some of that going on. I'm not gonna pretend like some of that is not happening. I mean, but a lot of folks believe that what Trump is doing is so favorable for this country that, look, if he's making a few bucks, at the end of the day, what he's doing for the country is so beneficial. We don't mind him making a few bucks in office. That's how some folks look at it. Do you, the only guy, defend MAGA? Juan, you're saying I'm the only guy that's defending MAGA? You got to read the comments. There's a lot of people who defend MAGA. There's no difference between MAGA and fascist piggery. Damn. America is broke. Then how do we send money to all these companies? Or countries, rather? I don't think America is broke, and that's a great question. I don't think we are broke. I think what we are is, look, it would be like being a bum on the sidewalk and you asking somebody, can you spare $2? I'm homeless, can you spare $2? And the person looks at you and says no, and then you watch them go into the Starbucks, the drive-through at Starbucks and order like a $6 coffee. They can spare it, they just don't want to give it to you. So that's where I think America is that we do have money that we could do a lot more for the downtrodden in this country than we do. We just don't. It's kind of like the bum on the sidewalk. We don't really care about the downtrodden in the country. So we can find money if we need to for a war, or we can find money if we need to for the beautification of DC. It's just the downtrodden guy is just like the bum on the street. We don't have any money for you. But you drive a few blocks up and now you're paying money to get a reflective pool changed to the color blue. I mean, yeah, we got the money. We just don't want to spend it on each other. That's all that is. I mean, just like I tell you right off the bat, I get a lot of comments on these programs from my beloved MAGA. They talk about socialism is all about giving away free shit. You need to go out and earn it. I don't want my tax money going to somebody sitting at home or somebody getting free shit. But the same folks that do not favor giving Americans free shit, or even giving Americans health care, even giving Americans health care, those same folks readily defended Trump taking a jet from Qatar and spending hundreds of millions of dollars of our tax money to refurbish it, which is essentially free shit. You're paying for that jet to be refurbished. That's 100% free shit. It wasn't necessary. It's a luxury product. It doesn't make the country safer. Nothing. All that jet from Qatar that we're paying hundreds of millions of dollars to refurbish, it just gives President Trump a more luxurious flight than Air Force One. That's the only purpose of it. And the same folks who were adamantly against, everything from EBT cards to daycare assistance to tuition forgiveness, the same folks that are against that stuff are in defense of that jet, defense of the reflective pool, defense of the tribunal arch. I mean, they're in defense of all of these pet projects that are 100% defense of the ballroom, 100% unnecessary. So like I said, it's like the bum asking, can you spare $2? The person saying no, and then you watch them go and spend $6 on a coffee at Starbucks. They have money, they just don't want to give it to you. Looking in the comments real quick and tap the screen and get us on up to 10,000. We had to reset the live. Hopefully this makes it work. What's the correlation between Democrats' free stuff with the gift? I don't really know if some of this stuff even qualifies as quote unquote free stuff. I'm just phrasing it that way because that's what the right says is this free stuff. I don't even know if it's that, so I'll leave it at that. Going to the box, nationalists love their country, says Thomas. What is the opposite of a nationalist? You say nationalists love their country. What is the opposite of that? We'll go straight back to the box. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes. Nate, good evening. Shanti says host has TDS. Nate, good evening.
What's up?
Not much at all. Good to have you on. So I saw you in the box last time. What brings you on? What am I getting wrong today?
Oh, no, you ain't getting. You just talking normal. So, but yesterday you were talking about like what could we do to stop the war or get the deal again?
Well, according to Trump, they've held off another attack.
Yeah, we just hand over Trump. They'll open up the strait.
Wow. So what do you mean hand over Trump, like so they can? You know they would kill him, right?
Okay.
You don't want that.
I didn't say that. I said they do whatever they want. Like, this is the person who started the war. This is the one who started dropping bombs for no reason. And he's the one who dropped the bomb on that school.
Damn. I gotta say, and I don't agree with that for the simple fact that it would divide this country in half. Have. But I will say I do agree with the premise. Iran is not going to.
I'm not saying that we like. I would want that to happen. I'm saying if we would have did that, it would probably go off.
It would go. Yeah, it would go. I agree with you 100%. I'm
not saying like to actually do it. I'm just saying if you want the thing open again and you want everything to be cool again, like. I'm pretty sure if you hand
that would work.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I don't want Trump handed over to the Iranians either, but I agree with you that if we handed Trump over as a goodwill gesture, because they're not going to, the Iranians have no reason to trust America, not just Trump. They have no reason to trust America probably for at least a few generations. And if we done that probably would go a long way to making them say, well, maybe they actually are for real. If we handed them, but of course we can't do that in terms of dividing our nation. But that just like with Netanyahu, if you handed over Netanyahu, the same effect would take place. They're going to slaughter these people right away, though. So I don't, you don't want to hear that we're responsible for the death of Trump or Netanyahu, but because they would slaughter them. There's no prison sentence going to do. They want them folks slaughtered. So. But that would work. I do agree with you. That would work. But what else? Something that could actually happen. We don't want to hand our commander in chief over to the enemy.
I don't think anything else. I think even if they get the strait opened up and everything will be fine, 20 years from now, America's going to get bombed with a terrorist bombing or something like that. Like There's 5-year-old, 10-year-old kids right now pissed off that their whole family just got killed.
I would say I don't
kids and stuff like that.
I think
so
you're being.
Wait for them to grow up.
Yeah, I think you're being generous when you say 20 years. Even the only reason why it ain't happening now is they just can't do it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like what we're doing to them, those kids are going to grow up, like and obviously do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just thinking realistically. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came and shot my mother. I was a little kid. Like, wait till I get older. That's the first thing that is going to stay in your head. Nobody over there likes us. You know what I'm saying? Like, death.
Why do you? And thank you.
You thought them saying death to America back then was something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, picture right now.
Well, they got signs talking about taking out Trump. And Audacity, thank you for the TikTok cap and alter ego. I appreciate that. Yeah, even when Trump was claiming they were saying death to America and all that, I was asking the question back then, why the hell not death to Canada, death to France? Why would they be chanting death to a country that is literally thousands of miles away? Why are we pretending like these folks just hate us for no reason at all? They're not saying, death to Guatemala. Why is it America?
Because we destroyed the democracy. They already had that. They had voted for a president, and we went in there and we did that. Our military blew up a plane with like 200 and something people, and they tried to say it was a mistake.
Yeah.
But then they showed videos of the military talking about, yeah, we got him. We blew that up. Like
that was a passenger aircraft.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with military at all. But we did it.
Yeah, and now we got a classroom, or better yet, a school. Now we got a school. We done the same thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like we did that, and they were saying about like how because we did to every other country. We destroyed it. Look what we did to Venezuela just now. What we doing in Cuba? Like we do that. We've been doing that forever.
Yeah, and I've been asking that question because we've been talking about Iran as the largest state sponsor of terror and things like that. And when you look at some of the things that you just mentioned, what is the definition of terror? I mean, we're threatening everybody simultaneously. Like, how is what Iran is doing deemed as terrorism, and what we're doing with Greenland or threatening? Cuba right now is in the dark because of us. We've threatened Colombia. You mentioned Venezuela. We've bombed Nigeria. We've bombed Syria. how do we escape that same term? What is the definition of terrorism?
Listen, I never said we wasn't.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying our country. We constantly talk about other nations being state sponsors of terrorism. I'm like, how are we getting a pass on that term? What is the definition of terrorism? Because I don't see how anybody can define it and exclude us from it.
Because when the bullies just look at it as like we having fun. Oh no, I was just playing with him.
You're killing people.
Like I just smacked him in the back of the head because I was playing with him. But that's what we are. We're the bullies. So when we do it, it doesn't seem like, oh, we did this for a reason. Like, no, we're trying to help other people. See the other people that they doing? Like, their government was killing their people. Nah, so we had to go over there. We killed like 100 times bigger than that just to show them to stop doing that.
Yeah.
We're the bullies.
Yeah, and in the comments, Juice says my neighbor's kid got his pee-pee chopped off at a liberal school last year. What is a liberal school? What are you saying? All of the students are card-carrying Democrats? What the hell is a liberal school?
Well, I'm pretty sure he would think that the parents didn't know where their kid was for like 3-4 days. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the kid just popped up and he's a drag or whatever.
Yeah, like, Trump did say that.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, Trump said that you send your kid to school and 3 days later the kid comes home a different gender. I don't understand. How does MAGA buy into that shit? The same thing when he said, you know, a woman gives birth and takes the baby home and she brings it back to the hospital and her and the doctor decide whether to terminate it or not. How does MAGA buys into this shit? How does that work?
Just like Hitler. Hitler wasn't German. He didn't have blonde hair. He didn't have blue eyes, but he had everybody doing whatever he wanted because they just listened to him. They became a cult. That's what it was, and they ran with it. And they put themselves so much into it that it'll be like they're being wrong. If Trump's wrong, I'm wrong. Like if he's saying this and he's a liar, then it shows that I was a liar. I can't let that happen. Just like MAGA Reacts comes up here and he'll say 1,000 different ways. Like yesterday, he was talking to Mike and he was just rambling because he knew he lost. He didn't have nothing to say, but he was rambling because maybe if I say this, it changes your mind. Maybe if I say that, it changes your mind. You said, hey, look, that's it. Like I already got my verdict, whatever. And he just kept on, because he knows he's wrong. Plus, he already knows we both know. He already said, I would lie just to be up here. And just so, I could be up here, whatever. So he's going to keep doing that so he didn't have to pay $50. I don't know if the $50 hurt his pocket and he was trying not to let it go. However it went.
Well, he did pay it. And Tobias says, going back to Candace Owens live, if you left Candace Owens to come watch me, I will certainly give you a gratitude of thank you. I am honored. Even if you only did it for a few minutes there, Tobias, because Candace got a huge audience. So is she live right now? In the comments, Margaret Taylor Greene left the MAGA party because MAGA are protecting the pedos in the Epstein files. Fact of the day. I think everybody knows that, Nico. She's been pretty damn vocal on that. So I don't know. It's okay, so because you see my live is titled "See Everything, Say Nothing." So is this what we got going forward? That Trump can pretty much do anything and MAGA just ignores it? Because they're trying to get Jeanine Pirro now because she would not basically pursue charges against a guy that she believes is totally innocent.
Well, she even said afterwards, like, "Oh no, we have proof anyway." Like they asked her. She's like, "No, we still have proof that he did it." Like she wouldn't say that she.
So she's trying to save face.
Yeah, she was still saying the same. She's not trying to say something that's going to go against Trump. Remember, he got her husband off of being. I think he was about to get locked up or whatever. While she was still on Fox News, her husband did something, and Fox pardoned him to get out.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
She owes him. So. But the only difference from now and then, before they had people that were running with it, like Barr was running with him, a couple of people were running with him. But then when it was getting towards the end of his presidency, they were like, "Hold up, like no, you can't just shoot protesters in the leg. Like what are you talking about? Oh no, there's no corruption." And then he flipped on him. So now he has a whole bunch of goons that yo, look, I don't know if they're getting paid or I'm pretty sure they're getting paid somehow, some way, or whatever it is to run with him. That's the difference. He has a whole bunch of foot soldiers that don't care what happens.
Well, that's
Then before that was against him a little bit, like, nah, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. Vice president was like, nah. Like at the end, like, nah, I talked to lawyers and everything. I can't hold that up.
shit, that's kind of how ICE is, to be honest with you. Just pretty much goons. I mean,
Yeah, look at Green. She was talking about space lasers, shooting, starting fires.
she didn't say that. Marjorie Taylor Greene officially, just like they say Trump with the drinking bleach, they really didn't say that. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she never did really say anything about Jewish space lasers.
She said there was Jewish space lasers that started a fire in California to hurt his presidency to be reelected. That's what she said.
That's an actual quote.
You can Google it. She said it. She said it. Like, you can Google it. But she came to New York. She was over here talking mad shit till we ran her out of New York. She did everything for him. The one thing that, the Epstein, and then that was it. She got her kids.
I don't get that. I don't, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about now. Is I don't get how MAGA says nothing when Trump gets rid of what I refer to as good MAGA. Marjorie Taylor, and Eileen left, I'll admit that, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is certainly Judge Jeanine Pirro. That's what I call good MAGA. They're down for the cause. All it takes is just one little thing, and Trump is getting rid of these people, and MAGA is just, okay. I don't understand that.
And she even told him, like, she called and was like, hey, look, they threatening my family.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, so what? That's your problem. Like,
I don't get
she was running with you. She was grabbing the billboard's dick, all that shit. She was taking pictures with Trump billboard, rubbing his dick and all that shit. She was running with it.
Well, I'll tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene on social media is doing very well because she's picking up an audience full of liberals. The liberal side is starting to, I mean, she's posting shit everywhere and it's getting tons of likes and views. So I'm sure she's making good money on social media now because, I mean, she's on all of the shows now.
I think she's just getting the people who actually fell off of MAGA. Like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, he got me too. Like,
yeah,
now we know how this feels. That's the crowd she's picking up.
Well, she was a politician. She wasn't like a Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. This picture here I showed yesterday, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene sitting at the table there with Tucker Carlson, and they're about to start a new movement. So, I mean, I don't know how much success it would have because Tucker got kicked out of MAGA as well. And MAGA's, look, it doesn't matter who Trump kicks out. MAGA continues moving on without him. Even if yesterday that person was on stage next to Trump. I mean, whether we're talking Pence, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. I mean, these two right here, it doesn't matter. Judge Jeanine Pirro maybe soon. It doesn't matter how close you were. If Trump kicks you out, MAGA just continues on without you.
Yeah, but it's getting fewer and fewer. But it doesn't matter. Once he's out, that's it. There's not going to be a such thing as MAGA.
I don't agree with that. They
may have a shirt. They may have a little shirt in their closet or something like that. He's the only. You can't have a coat with a leader and then the leader die and then jump onto the next leader.
Well,
that's not how that works.
Assuming we're talking about a cult, but I do believe MAGA will absolutely live on. I believe the Make America Great movement. What Make America Great actually stood for when Trump was actually campaigning, the shit that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker says they still want, the shit that Alex Jones still wants, that movement is still there. It's just that Trump became president and he abandoned all the stuff he had promised. Them people still want that stuff. They want what he campaigned on.
Wasn't it Nixon who was Make America Great Again?
I mean,
wasn't it Nixon?
Make America
Great. Wasn't it Nixon's thing? And then it went, and then it disappeared for years, right?
It'll be back.
Okay, and then it popped up. It may be popping up 30, but it's somebody's shirt somewhere in the closet for 30 years, and they find their grandfather's shirt and they run with it. It's not going to just happen right after Trump. Trump is going to leave. He's going to be on his little social media thing. He's going to be seeing court cases and all that stupid shit. Like, he's going to have a whole bunch
I don't
of
think.
problems.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I don't think it's gonna be 30 years though. I don't think. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I don't think it's gonna be 30 years because Trump had so much success with it. It's going to inspire other politicians to attempt it. I think sooner.
It's just like when the Bulls had their run, Chicago Bulls, three-peat, another three-peat. Ain't hardly no more fucking Bulls jerseys out there no more.
It's Bulls jerseys. I'm a Chicago Bulls watcher. There's plenty of Bulls jerseys. I gotta move it on. They had Derrick Rose. They haven't had a really good franchise player in a while. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Until that happens again, it's not just going to happen right after Trump.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Then after that, you got to also remember in a couple more years that it's going to pass after he leaves. They're going to find out how much money he actually stole and how much money that was taken and hidden, and they can't find this amount. They can't find that amount. How many companies he had investments in that made money in the oil and everything, the stock manipulation and everything like that. How much his sons were making. Because the $2 billion, everybody keeps talking about those $2 billion that he made. How much did his kids make? His kids make a whole bunch of money from the government.
It ain't just kids, associates, friends, relatives. I gotta move it on, but yeah, I do agree. The fall of the money prosecutions will go on for years. I mean, some of that money's probably not even in America, but I agree with you that there will be huge investigations on how they made so much money, deals that probably were illegal, conflict of interest deals, insider trading. There's going to be a ton of that shit. That's going to be on forever. I don't know how, if Trump can, I don't know if because they gave him immunity. I don't know if the Supreme Court giving him immunity, that doesn't cover insider trading. So I'm assuming that he's going to have to give himself some kind of special pardon against things that were actually illegal. Because I agree with you, some of his money, insider trading, for instance, is a crime. So some of his money was made that way. If he made backdoor deals with Qatar to get that jet, that ain't acting on behalf of the presidency. So if you're making deals on behalf of just enriching yourself, I don't think the Supreme Court gave you immunity for that. So we'll see what happens. But I got to move it on, Nate. Last word.
All right, one more thing. So you always say one good thing about Trump or whatever. And I keep telling you, the only good thing that's going to come out of him is that they're going to close up all these loopholes that they just found that he did. And the last thing is, fuck that used butt plug fucking salesman nigga. What's that guy's name?
I don't
What's
know.
The dickhead? Your man who sells butt plugs. The used
you're talking about Straight Talk Commerce.
Fuck him.
All right. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Nate, as always. I agree with what he said in regards to, I won't say it's the only thing good that's going to come out of Trump, because a lot of folks do believe what Biden did to the border, Trump has done a good job in securing the border. I'll leave that up to you in your opinion, but I agree with what he said. Closing the loopholes that Trump has been allowed to exploit, that absolutely is a good thing. And I think you will have no problem getting bipartisan support on that. I think there will be plenty of Republicans and Democrats that will look at many of the loopholes Trump exploited and say, we can't let that happen again, such as taking a jet from Qatar. I don't think the House and Senate going forward will want presidents just accepting huge, expensive gifts like that from foreign nations. I can't believe that wasn't illegal to begin with. I just cannot believe a president. I mean, because we're trying to suggest somehow, some way, that a country would give you a thing of value totaling what, 400 million or whatever the cost of that 747 was, and not want anything in return. That's not believable. I can't believe that was not actually illegal to begin with. That shouldn't have been a loophole capable of being exploited. Because we talk all the time when it comes to, let's say, socialism, for instance. The outcry when it comes to socialism all the time is there is no such thing as a free lunch. Everything Mamdani or some socialist candidate, Barack Obama, spread the wealth around, everything you give people, somebody has to pay for that. Yet somehow, and I'm talking to my beloved MAGA on this, somehow my MAGA audience were able to be convinced that Qatar could give Trump a free aircraft worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he didn't have to pay nothing for it. No such thing as a free lunch, but there is a such thing as a free, luxurious 747. That makes no sense. So I agree with my last caller in suggesting that loopholes like that have got to be closed, have got to be closed up. That should not be allowed. Gift or not, Shanti in the comments said it was a gift. Yeah, I don't know. How many of you folks get $400 million gifts? I bet you Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, you know where I'm going with this, Warren Buffett. I bet you none of them have ever received a gift that's worth $400 million for free. I bet you not one of them has ever received, somebody gave them something that's worth $400 million, no strings attached. None of them have received that. So I'm just going to tell you, the idea that anybody would give you something worth that much value and want nothing in return for it, you got to be pretty fucking stupid to believe that. To me, it's not a gift, it's a down payment. We just don't know what it was a down payment on. It's not a gift. Nobody gives you something that's that valuable for no reason at all. That's crazy. Anyway, looking in the comments, hey Tim, what happened yesterday? I made a comment. You were in the middle of talking, and then all of a sudden, all of the, I don't know, DOA, do not know, because we did wrap the show up properly. Sometimes if there's, lack of tapping the screen, lack of support, lack of interest, we do cut some lives like that. But yesterday was not one of those, so I don't know what happened. Hunter Biden wasn't charged because his daddy was the president and no Washington, D.C. judge would take the case. If you want to say that, that's possible. I don't know, but I'm just simply saying in regards to the loopholes, the nepotism, and we can bring up Hunter Biden, but compared to what the Trump administration is doing, Hunter Biden's making pennies. Hunter Biden's making pennies compared to what the Trump administration is doing. So I absolutely agree with my last caller. They got to close those loopholes. I mean, not only that, but I think even just the amount of power a president can deliver via executive order. We're at a whole entire war based on Trump. The only counter, just like I got a viewer right now trying to counter all of the stuff that the Trump family is doing with Hunter Biden, which is significantly less. The only counter to Trump starting a whole war, Obama was droning a few people. I mean, literally a whole war by himself. He's threatened to wipe out an entire civilization in one day. Congress said nothing. They just, let's sit back and see if he does it. Now, just yesterday, he threatened to deliver the greatest punch since World War II. What was he going to do, D-Day on Iran? Once again, Congress, we'll just sit back and let's see what happens. So you got to close those loopholes. You got to make it so that the president is forced to get permission from Congress. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but you got to force Congress to do their job. Some way, somehow, there has to be a law that's passed that prevents Congress from just sitting back idly and doing nothing, or having someone like Speaker of the House, Tim Johnson, continue sending Congress on vacations to prevent them from voting. Like he is using their vacation clause as a weapon. So if there's enough folks that want to speak out against Trump and vote on something, he just sends them on vacation. You got to be able to stop going forward, because it sounds great if you support Trump, but you don't want a liberal doing that shit. So, I mean, Mike Johnson, my father, whatever his name, Johnson, Speaker of the House Johnson. So they got to stop that stuff. So I do believe in the future they got to do some things to prevent some loopholes going forward. Elon Musk is probably another one. I mean, he's not even an American citizen, and he's done all kinds of... I got folks right now in my MAGA chat rooms that I follow showing pictures of folks like Ilhan Omar saying, raise your hand if you believe only American citizens should be in Congress. They ain't say shit about Elon Musk. So go figure. Anyway, going back to the box, I am a bagger. Can we Can we foreign? I don't know what you're saying there, Major. That doesn't make sense. Can we foreign each other? Marjorie Taylor Greene left. I saw that. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 40,000. We'll go to the next caller in the box. We'll make it happen with Miss Mo Better. Good evening, Miss Mo. If Musk had accumulated as much wealth as he did before going full MAGA tard, he'd be in my pillow territory right now. Well, I'm sure that Trump is responsible for Elon Musk making a ton more than what he actually was worth. Miss Mo Better, good evening.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, good to have you on. So, we're talking see something, say nothing. Have you heard that? I'm sure you have. Trump is trying to convince, or better yet, he's contemplating getting rid of Jeanine Pirro, a.k.a. Judge Jeanine from Fox, because as U.S. attorney, she dropped a case against this Olympian that they were originally stating had vandalized the reflective pool. Now, I'm making a case that Jeanine Pirro is what should be referred to as good MAGA. If she had a case against this guy, she would make it. So Trump is damn near on the cusp of cannibalizing her, and MAGA saying nothing. Why are they standing idly by while Trump cannibalizes good MAGA? What say you?
It's disheartening to actually see as many people as we do to sit back and allow this man, the half a man,
what do you mean by half a man? What is that?
The only thing that is so-called to their definition, if the only thing that makes him a man because he has a penis, that's the only thing that makes him a man. That's why I say he's half a man.
Okay, well that's just score one for you because you just proved the Democrat knows what a man is.
Well, we know what a woman is too. But they come up with these gaslighting ass, condescending ass questions and hoping somebody say something wrong. Say, see, they didn't know.
Yeah.
Do you really expect anything different coming from Trump? You know he gets rid of people that does not kiss his ass, that does not bow down to his fuckery. Look at, again, we can go back to his first term and see how many people that's quit, been fired, or just went silent because of him and what he was doing. For the life of me, I don't know how these people voted for him to be in office again. He showed us who he was. It wasn't no surprise as to who he is and how he operates. The numbers and stuff don't lie.
Well, wait a minute. Because I say this, I got to push back. You do understand there were tons of legitimate reasons to vote for Trump in his second term. Certainly, folks were not happy with Biden, not happy with Kamala. It wasn't off the rails to see Trump as a better choice than Kamala Harris going forward.
They're not being unhappy with Kamala and Biden. Do they know that Trump started all that bullshit? Do they know what kind of mess that Trump left when he left office the first time? What kind of mess he left this country in? Do they not see that? Yeah, he had a good economy. He inherited it. When he came into office, his first year and a half or so, he didn't have much to do because everything was in place. But when it was time for him to actually govern and to be a leader, he showed that he was incapable.
Well, I'll give you two outs, O-U-T-S, for President Trump. One being the economy in the country was running strong up to the pandemic. So I get that you're saying he inherited it from Obama, but fact is, even if he inherited a good economy, he was maintaining a good economy up till late 2019 when the pandemic started happening. Now, the pandemic, he did not manage well at all. It was a dismal performance, but I'm giving him an out. If I'm taking my MAGA side of the out, they're going to give him an out because, unfortunately, and I don't agree with this, but they don't blame the mismanaging of the pandemic on Trump. They blame it on Fauci.
Of course they do. There's no accountability. Do they know he got rid of Fauci too? And it wasn't because Fauci wasn't doing his job. It's because Fauci wouldn't bow to him either.
Did He actually get rid of Fauci?
Go back and look, Tim. Ask Ask Jerome Powell who Trump is and what he tries to do. What did Trump do? Try to demonize him because he didn't bow down to him. He demonizes and criticizes anybody that do not want to kiss his orange, wrinkled, old, shitty ass.
Well, what about the notion that a lot of folks on the right, my beloved MAGA, do believe that Fauci was committing crimes? They believe he's responsible for deaths, Miss Mobetta.
I want them to prove it. Listen, and I'm sure that because I worked in the lab where they actually was doing this stuff. There's probably things that, you know how long they've been studying things like this. They're not going to get everything right, but he's not the cause of people losing their lives. That's the lie they keep running.
What about as opposed to their lives? What about their livelihoods? Shutting down schools, shutting down businesses. People believe he unnecessarily did that.
They were following train with what every other country that was dealing with this same pandemic that we were doing. But guess who said it was a hoax? Guess who said it was gonna go away? Guess who recommended to insert a light up their ass and inject some type of disinfectant? Guess who did that? It wasn't Fauci. It was Trump. Let's start being honest about things.
But what
if you tell the truth in the beginning, you don't have to worry about the lie exposing you in the end.
But what about the hindsight? Many on the right would suggest that they have not been vaccinated, and it shows all of the stuff Fauci was telling people to do was utter bullshit. It was utter bullshit. They're healthy. They're living fine. They've never been vaccinated. By the way, help your boy with the TikTok cap and had mustache goes. Go ahead.
He gives recommendations. He doesn't give orders. So that's a whole dumb that you can't blame that on him. You understand what I'm saying? They do the studies, they do the numbers and the research, and they put that stuff forward, and then it's up to somebody else to move forward with the what they do and how they do it with. He's not the one to blame for that again.
Yeah, I think you see Osby.
And this is the bad part, because in public, Trump was saying all of this stuff was bad while him at the same time was taking it. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, it's a miracle drug. Oh, in 3 days I was healed. And then all of a sudden he flip-flopped on it, which he's the best at. I'll give him that. He's the best at flip-flopping. And tried to make it seem like Fauci was doing something bad. See, the crazy thing is they keep looking at Fauci and forgetting Bill Gates. This stuff is bigger than John Coffey, Tim.
Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah.
I mean, they did find his diary. It looks like the guy was in it for the fame and maybe made a little bit of money, tried to dissuade us from where the virus actually came from. You don't think Fauci did anything wrong at all?
I know. I'm not saying that at all. I'm sure there was plenty of mistakes that he's probably done made, and especially in the position where you are doing studies. That's why they're called studies and research, because you do have to. Unfortunately, they do take people and have to. We call them subjects in our lab. They're subjects where people have to come in and take this stuff to see it was. If it works, how the system reacts to it and stuff. They just move so fast with COVID because COVID was rapidly taking people out. We lost more people in C-19 than we did in any wars that we've had.
Yeah. But some would say, Fauci, because a lot of folks believe that.
That's them slow some, Kim. That's them slow some.
Well,
So, but see, and the thing is now, it went from the KKK to the CCC. Chaos, cruelty, and corruption. I don't care what side it's from.
Chaos, cruelty, and corruption. Damn.
That's all we're witnessing right now in this country here, and we are the laughing stock. We are the total laughing stock. And bring whoever. Oh, bring them. Yes, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nate, it is. Good. Welcome back, Nate. What?
Yeah, you're good. I'm not going against that.
No, I got you. I said this.
So I just wanted to say for his little bullshit MAGA shit. Remember when he caught COVID? Remember, he took that picture of him with all these pages. Look, I got the health bill right here.
Yeah.
I got it all figured out. Well, he still doesn't have it figured out. They still believe it. He was in the hospital. He showed a whole, look, I'm working. I got all this. Is already about to put it through. That was his first term.
Yeah. Well,
didn't he say COVID was a hoax?
Yep.
You weren't all the times he lied, right? Like, that's what you asked the other guy, right?
I reposted that video the other day with him saying it was a hoax. Oh, it's going to go away. That's just a Democrat hoax. Listen, Obama left him the people in place to handle a pandemic, handle an epidemic. Did he not? And Trump.
What about well, let me ask you guys, what about the notion that, because you mentioned chaos and corruption, what about the notion that President Trump was just trying for this great nation to prevent us from eroding into chaos? He was giving a positive spin on this novel virus because he didn't want folks to get chaotic and go crazy over it. Maybe he was trying to do what was in the best interest of the country.
If that's the case, why would he get rid of the professionals that were in place to help deal with stuff like that and not replace them either? So that's not it, Tim. That's not it.
Well, if he felt like,
give him the benefit of the doubt, and now that is not it.
If he,
we seen him do his little Channel 7 news bullshit. Like 3 o'clock every day, he was out on TV talking about the pandemic. He had the scientists and the doctors sitting down. He wasn't letting them talk.
Yeah, but that's not to say. But that's not to say.
He was even asking stupid questions like, "Hey, like, what about light? Like, while he's on TV,
he's trying to be a leader. That's not to say he didn't. Hold on, wait a minute. That's not to say he hadn't conferred. Maybe he conferred with all the doctors before coming on television, and then he wanted to present what he found to the American people. And during that time, he asked them a few questions. He was trying to be a leader.
So then, shouldn't he be judged for it then? If he's the one giving out the information, shouldn't he be the one who's in court right now? Or trying to be
right
instead of Fauci?
Yeah. I absolutely agree that Trump said some things that were not accurate. I don't get why we're holding Fauci accountable and not bringing Trump up to actually question him as well. Yeah, I agree with that. Because like when this
Trump give him an award,
everybody but him. And he's the common denominator.
Yeah.
Trump gave him an award before he left.
That's right.
On the job on COVID as a good job. He has a document that's hanging up in Fauci's wall from Trump saying he did a good job.
Yeah, listen, to be honest with you on all of this, I do have to push back if I see it, but in my opinion, I think Fauci's biggest error was doing most of his work for the Biden administration as opposed to Trump. If Trump had won in 2020, because the pandemic started in late 2019, Trump left office in January of 2021, a few days after January 6th. And then from that point on, Biden was president. If Trump had won, hang on a second. If Trump had won, that means all of Fauci's work would have been done under Trump. I don't think those same Republicans grilling him would have had any issue with him. It's just he did it under Biden.
He wasn't trying to get caught up in his lie. That's why he even, knowing that he had COVID, he had his Secret Service drive him around just the hospital so people could see him. And he got them sick.
Yeah. Well,
again, they had the wrong people. They had the wrong person in the hot seat. I'm sorry.
And Arnita says that Trump lied and said he did not give Dr. Fauci that award. Did he? I didn't see that.
Yes, he did. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I know anytime, like I tell you before, he blinks lies. When he blink, he lying. Don't ever ask him what time it is. Don't ever ask him what time it is without you going to check, do your research. And see, that's the problem with his fans. They're not even supporters because he really has no bills or anything. He's just an executive order guy going around with a Sharpie trying to put his name on every fucking thing.
Why do you think that's true? But why do you think Congress is letting that happen? Why do you think they are letting him pretty much do whatever?
Because they're weak as fuck. They keep talking about Democrats are weak. How is Democrats weak? How? When the Republicans got every branch there is to government.
Because they don't
What makes the Democrats so weak? Y'all sound stupid saying that. I want to tell y'all if nobody else told y'all. Y'all sound dumb as fuck.
How do you
They don't have Secret Service. They don't have Secret Service. Trump gets them threatened. They know that if he says, "Hey, this person's going against me," he gets all those crazy nut jobs to start threatening them, popping up at their house and everything else. So that's why, hey, look, we can't pay for security and all this. So let me just run with this. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of them. If it came down to it, like that's their real reason of not going against them.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and Liz Cheney kind of led the way in that, showing them that. I got 3 minutes for both of you folks. Let me ask you, how do you stop that going forward? Could we talk about perhaps bipartisan laws going forward to prevent some of the things that Trump has done from happening with future administrations? How do you get Congress to act if in the future you have a president that opens the door to death threats if you don't follow his instruction?
To get him out of there, vote as if your life depended on it. You have to remove the problem, and that's why we go through shit like that, because stuff just get covered over. You have to right now. Mike Johnson is the problem because he has the power and he still allows there to be no guardrails when it comes to Trump. He doesn't check him. He goes unchecked. So that he's the problem. He's who you need to get out of there. You need people that are going to be bipartisan. You understand what I'm saying? And unfortunately, a lot of times we don't know how people are going to react until they get into the position. But we need somebody like a Mamdani or somebody who's going to do what they said they're going to do.
People thought Trump was going to do what he...
unalive people in these
but people... You don't always know they're not going to do what they said they're going to do until they get in there, because Trump promised a lot of good shit and people did expect it.
That's what I just said, Tim. That's what I just said. I said, unfortunately, you don't know what people are going to do until they actually get in the position. However, Trump proved himself the last time. So, but what he does, he goes around and demonizes and boogeyman's words like woke. You make woke a bad word, but then you say Sleepy Joe. So what do you want him to be, woke or sleep? Make this shit make sense.
If Congress doesn't show up and they don't vote, then you gotta lose your seat. If you don't do your job, like that's the reason why you're there. If you be like, nah, I'm not going to show up, because I don't want to vote on this, or I don't want to be against Trump or whatever, or whoever's president at the time, then you should be kicked out.
So what do you? MAGA reactions on the program yesterday, and we were talking about voting absenteeism. Are you saying they should remove the ability to do that?
Yeah, because we don't vote you in, so you could just say, hey, I don't want to pick a vote. I don't want to put my vote in. Like I just don't want to. Yeah. No, we vote for you to vote for us.
Right, exactly, to fight for the people. And see, this is what they have to realize. We need a president that's going to speak for all people. Trump is proving that.
Never get that. You'll never. No president in history speaks for all the people. Name one. Name a president that spoke for, that everybody felt he was speaking for them. You'll never get that.
Well, that was in their feelings, but I'm talking about proving that you are for everybody. Trump has not done that.
There's no way to do that, Mr. Mubetta, because people want different shit. Sometimes it's a polar opposite.
His guys did go to court and they had to say, yeah, we took away this money because the blue states didn't vote for us, so we took away the.
Well, that should be outlawed.
Even if nobody votes for you or whatever, you should still be trying to do whatever for everyone.
Okay, that should be outlawed. I got to move it on, folks. But you should not be able to punish whole states because of how they voted. That should be outlawed.
It's criminal. It's criminal, Tim. And as far as Juice, whatever, Ashley Biden's diary, that shit has been debunked so long ago. If you get off of Trump's nuts and go get into a book, you'd learn some shit. Stop blowing off that orange dust in our face. We tired of smelling.
I gotta go.
Go learn to spell or read or some shit.
All right, I'm out of here. I gotta go. Nate,
saw Mondani flip out on the border czar?
I didn't see that. Did it happen today?
Like 2 days ago.
On Tom Homan?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
You could Google it. He was flipping out on them. They were protesting or whatever. He was dead. Like, Google it. He was dead.
I have to look that up. I gotta go. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Tap the screen, get the likes on. I haven't seen that. 60,000, if you will. I got a poll question going on currently on YouTube. Do you think Dr. Fauci committed any crimes during the pandemic? Only 40 votes so far. 33%. Do you think Dr. Fauci committed any crimes during the pandemic? 33% say yes. 67% say no. So we'll see how that goes. I just started that. In the comments here real quick, tap the screen, by the way, get us on up to 60,000. Help people out with the hat and mustache, TikTok cap goals. We've shown some movement. Some of you guys have showed the program some love, so thank you. Obama also continued the wars Bush started and expanded them. We can't live by purity politics. It is what it is. There are no absolutes. I'll tell you this, in regards to the wars, one of the worst things you can do as a commander-in-chief is get involved in a war when you don't have the public behind you. We can talk about Bush, Iraq, weapons of mass destruction. You're bringing up Obama. The difference is most of America was actually behind those conflicts. They may have later changed their mind, but after September 11th, America wanted to kick some ass. So it was pretty easy for George W. Bush to convince us that Iraq was a bad place. And then it moved on to Afghanistan. Trump did not have support going into Iran from day one because his own administration, that being Tulsi Gabbard, stated in the beginning, they're not doing what you're accusing them of doing. Not to mention him saying he obliterated their nuclear ambitions back in June of last year and going back. So you're already admitting what you did last June is not as sufficient as what you had claimed. Because when he stated last June that we had obliterated their nuclear program, it was only a few days before people started releasing shit on social media and news reports back then that said intelligence showed that we had set them back only a few months at best. And Trump was going against the intelligence reports last year, stating that, no, we obliterated them. The reports are wrong. Okay, now here you are again going back in late February. So clearly the reports were right. And now, once again, we're at a full-blown war with Iran, and once again, Trump is still releasing all sorts of conflicting information. You're not going to get the people behind you in a war when you're doing that. Even MAGA, who favors Trump, some of them are starting to waver. Like, just get it done. You got some MAGA saying some pretty draconian shit, like turn it to a sheet of glass and stuff like that. But even MAGA don't think he's taking the right path. If you're gonna do it, then do it. Quit making idle threats. That's what's coming from MAGA. So he don't have a country behind that shit. Mama Clark, appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you very much. So yeah, I do believe that there will have to be some bipartisan legislation to prevent future administrations from doing some of the things that Trump said. In the comments, somebody said, there won't be any chance of bipartisanship. I absolutely think there will be, because the Republicans, if you get a Democrat in there, the Republicans do not want that Democrat to have the same power Trump did. So you would need probably the Democrats to win, and the Democrats to then try to pass legislation to stop another president from being like Trump. Now, if the Democrats get in there, alter ego, thank you very much. If the Democrats get in there and they try to get revenge and be like Trump, then we got a problem on our hands. So you'd have to have the Democrats win and try to take a higher ground and say, we just got to close off what happened. You can prosecute who you want to prosecute, but we also got to close the door and prevent this from happening again. Otherwise, it will happen again. In the comments, Paul says, so the threat of nuclear attack from Iran is zero. No, the threat of nuclear attack from North Korea is not zero, but it's not anywhere near as high as Trump said it is. Trump stated that if we didn't attack Iran, they were going to have a bomb in a few weeks and they were going to use it. So he made it sound like the threat of attack from Iran was like 90% or something like that. Most people don't believe that. Outside of MAGA, most people don't believe that. Certainly not around the world. So that's where the issue is. And I see in the comments, Teddy says Trump said the war is over many times. Handsome conservative, good evening. Welcome to the show. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you.
Okay.
I got a few things to say.
Let me get my notes out.
Where Fauci was responsible for the deaths with COVID.
Okay.
So Fauci created the Chinese virus, and it's called Chinese coronavirus. He was part of the team that helped create it.
So you're saying, wait. I'm gonna repeat these. I want to repeat them one as you're going through them. I'm gonna be repeating them. So you're saying Fauci was part of a Chinese crew that created the coronavirus?
And it's spread across the country. And as for the proof of how he's responsible for it, all the dead bodies that were lined up and were marked as death by COVID, is why he is responsible for the deaths.
You kind of garbled his heart. I'm trying to make out. For some reason, I'm having a hard time understanding. You're coming out kind of garbled, like your mic or something.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can fix it.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'll read a couple comments. I haven't heard.
All right, is that better?
Try it again.
Is that better?
Yeah, that. We can hear you. Okay, keep going.
Okay. And as for Donald Trump and the gifts that he got, I'm not saying that there's no corruption going on, but I would take it a lot more serious if the Democrats took the corruption of their party as serious as they take the corruption of Donald Trump. They say that Donald Trump is corrupt, but when their party gets in, they do corrupt shit all the time, and you don't hear a one from it. And I'm not just talking about the president. I'm talking about the House. I'm talking about the Senate. I'm talking about their parties in, but they don't call their party out.
Here's what I don't like. You guys talked about everything from corrupt Democrats to fake news to weaponized DOJ. And it shows once Trump got in there, you guys are totally okay with weaponizing the DOJ, fake news, which is Fox News, and Trump taking. You guys are okay with everything you complained about. It's just you want it being done for your side. You either see the Democrats being corrupt and you want it to stop, or you don't. It's not, well, the Democrats are doing it. Trump promised to drain the swamp, not get in there and take the swamp for his side. He's doing all the stuff you guys complained about.
That is a great talking point, but here's the problem.
Is it accurate?
I don't watch Fox News. And all I'm saying is if you're going to call out something that you're saying is corruption on the Republican side, at least have the balls to call it out on your own party, which the Democrats never.
What is the Democrats?
Once have I ever heard them call it out.
Wasn't it Senator Menendez? Didn't the Democrats get rid of him? What is the Democrats came close to doing that is in the realm of Trump? I mean, you got the best you can come up with is trying to say Hunter Biden got a job because of his dad.
We're talking about corruption.
At that level?
It doesn't have to be at that level. We're talking about taking bribes. We're talking about working for the donors instead of working for the American people, which is exactly what I have heard people say that the Republicans are doing. But you never hear when the Democrats are in power. It's a one-sided area.
What corruption? What corruption are you seeing?
Any Democrat call out the Democratic Party when they're in power and they're doing it. They may not have gotten a jet, but that doesn't mean they're corrupt. It may not be the same level.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. To me, one employee, you found out that they took they took one of the office staplers home. That's their corruption. They took home a stapler and maybe some paper that they had no business taking. The other side is stealing laptops and shit. I mean, I get what you're saying, corruption, but it's in a different universe, handsome conservative. It's literally in a different what Hunter Biden, any of the stuff you bring up, it's in a different universe.
No, I didn't say a thing about taking the stapler home.
I did. I'm
talking about taking bribe. I'm
okay.
talking about working.
How do we?
Go ahead.
How do we ever? Okay, right now Trump is our president. If he does something wrong, how do we ever hold him accountable if the goal is to always deflect to somebody else in the past? In other words, there'll never be any accountability for him because anything he does, you can find somebody else in the past that done something similar to bring up. That means he'll never be held accountable.
If you want somebody to be held accountable, it has to go both ways. Regardless of
he's
whether
president.
Trump is president right now or not, you still have to hold both.
Then why, if you got actual Democrat politicians that were committing acts of corruption, I'm going to assume, certainly if we're talking about during the Biden administration, the statute of limitations hasn't expired. Why isn't Trump going after him?
I don't know why Trump isn't going after him. Personally, I think he should.
Maybe it's because the case. Maybe because they can't make the case.
Both sides are being corrupt. Both sides. I don't care who's in power right now. If you're going to call out the Republican, call out the Democrats. It's not a complicated thing.
The point I'm making is simple. We know Trump has no love lost for the Democrats. If the Democrats were corrupt and Trump is not going after them, to me, that's the clearest sign you can have is that corruption you're talking about does not exist. Trump ain't gonna let a Democrat. If Nancy Pelosi is doing something, if he could convict Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton, he would do that. He would actually do it.
No, this is where you're wrong. It's not clear that the Democrats aren't corrupt. It's clear that some of the Republicans are corrupt, some of the Democrats are corrupt, and in order to take one down, you're going to have to take them all down.
No.
See, it's not one or the other. It's both parties doing it. So I'm saying, and admitting, if both parties do it, then let's call out both parties.
There's only one.
Trump is the president, but that doesn't matter in this case.
There's only one person in charge, Hanson. So if the Democrats are corrupt, that person is responsible for that. You're telling the citizens to go after Democrat senators and congressmen? It's the person in power is not doing. If what you're saying is true, then you're making Trump look doubly wrong. Because not only is he doing corrupt, he's also not using his level of power to go at the corrupt Democrats either. So he's not only being corrupt, he's letting corrupt people get away with it.
No, I'm saying that if one side is corrupt and the other side is corrupt, let's call it out.
Who would be responsible?
I'm saying
there's nothing to call out.
I'm talking about Trump. I'm not talking about Trump. Get Trump off your head.
He is the guy responsible for you want us to call out corruption and pursue corruption on both sides. He is the guy that will be responsible for doing that. There's no way not to talk about him.
There's corruption in the House. Trump isn't in the House. There's corruption in the Senate. Trump isn't in the Senate. There's corruption when the Republicans are in charge of the House and Senate. There's corruption when Democrats are in the House and the Senate. There are other branches other than the presidency that I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about Trump. I get it. You love to bring Trump up.
This doesn't make any sense.
All of the politicians.
If this man can demand that Jeanine Pirro goes after somebody for defacing a pool, you're going to tell me there's corruption in the House and Senate and we shouldn't talk about him? Why don't you go after it, Mr. President, instead of some dude vandalizing the pool?
Democrats were in charge. Do you remember when the Democrats were in charge and they said Find them at the restaurants, find them where they are, and fucking go after them. They got on TV and said
That's
that.
not a crime.
They're guilty.
That's not a crime. What crime is that? That's not a crime.
It's inciting a riot.
No,
So yes, sir, it's a crime.
If a Democrat, like you're talking about, the older woman, I can't think. I'm about to say Feinstein. That's not her name. The black woman in California.
Like a raisinette, yes.
Did you say she looks like a raisinette?
Yeah, the old wrinkled lady.
Thank God. First of all, what she said, indicating that if you see them out at a restaurant or whatever, get up in their face and protest, that actually ain't a crime. I mean, she's not telling you to put your hand. To me, if you guys can go to the Capitol building peacefully and patriotically, you don't have a case against her. If you can defend that as not being criminal,
I absolutely have a case against her. She said, get up in their face and protest. If you're at a restaurant with your family and you got a bunch of left maniacs fucking coming at your family while they're trying to eat dinner, and then there's going to be a fight that breaks out, that's inciting a riot. She's guilty. It's obvious. It's as clear as day, dude. I'm just saying you call out.
So let me ask you.
I find it funny
this
you
makes
keep defending one side and not the other.
This makes no sense because, okay, if what you're saying about Maxine Waters, and thank you in the comments, that's her name. If what you're saying about Maxine Waters indicates that she incited a riot, so when Steve Bannon and Rudolph Giuliani was saying let's have trial by combat and you got to fight for your country back on January 6th, do you credit that as starting a riot?
Didn't I just say there were corruption?
I'm asking you about these two people, though. Do you believe that Steve Bannon and Rudolph Giuliani should be charged with inciting a riot?
Yes, if they incited a riot, I absolutely do. Okay. There's corruption on both sides. I can't make it any plainer than that.
Okay.
If you want to have a leg to stand on, if you want to be a man of your word, call it out on both sides.
Okay.
Don't stick them for one side and call it on the other. That's what I'm saying. This is not complicated.
Bro, didn't Cal in the comments says, in regards to what you said about Maxine Waters, no riot ever happened from that statement. So when you're saying get up in people's face and you're saying that incited a riot, no.
People on the news getting right in those people's faces just while they were trying to do nothing but sit and have dinner with their families because some retard of a Democrat fucking told them to do it, and they were stupid enough to get out there and do it.
Well, you'd have to prove that the only reason they got up in that person's face was because they were watching TV and heard Maxine Waters say it. They may have done that on their own, conservative. I mean, they may not have done that at the urging of Maxine Waters. You got to prove that.
Until the day comes that the Democrats call out their own party, I'm really not interested in hearing about how corrupt they think Donald Trump is, because it's just stupid. If you can't be man enough to call out both parties, you can't be a man enough.
So you got a president that's potentially in office, being corrupt, costing you your taxpayer money, and you're willing to turn a blind eye on that because, well, the Democrats ain't saying nothing about their side. You're being robbed by the current guy, but because they don't speak out against the last guy, well, I'm not even going to stop them. I'm going to let them rob me too because they let the last guy get away with robbing me. That's what you're saying.
Do me a favor. Name me one president, Democrat, Republican, I don't care. Name me
Nate, put your request in.
Other than Donald Trump, that has not used our taxes for something that we didn't want to use.
You're confirming what I just said. Because other presidents got away with robbing me, and you guys are not holding them accountable, I don't want you to say nothing about this one that's robbing me now. You're confirming what I just said.
I'm confirming what you said. I'm saying if you can't call out both sides,
right.
Call out the one.
That's the point I'm making. Look, you may think I'm not calling out Democrat corruption, but make no mistake about it. Even if I'm only calling out Trump's corruption, Trump is robbing you too. But you're saying, well, you didn't say nothing when the last guy robbed me, so don't say nothing about this guy robbing me right now. I just want to let him keep robbing me. I don't want to take any credibility for what you're saying now because you didn't say anything. So you're getting double robbed.
I'm not saying that if he's robbing us, that's correct. I'm saying both sides do it. And
I get that.
Name me one president, even if they were a Democrat, that didn't take your tax money and use it for something you didn't want to do. Name me one president that didn't rob you. Every president.
So should we just let them all continue?
I apologize. Could you say that again?
So, and Nate I saw the Galaxy, Nate, put in your request. So are you saying we should just let them all continue because everybody ain't properly going after the other guy? Let's say a Democrat gets in office and the Democrat is robbing us of our tax money and the Republicans speak up and we go, well, you didn't say nothing about Trump. So should we just let the next guy rob us too until we get somebody who counts out everybody?
I think you're making a mistake. I think you're saying that I think it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. What I'm saying is pull out both sides because both sides do it. I'm not defending either party for doing it. I'm just saying stand up. If it's wrong for the Republicans, it's wrong for the Democrats. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why this is a fight. This is common sense.
Okay, I vehemently disagree. And by the way, in the comments, somebody said guests are suspended. No, they're not. I see all the guest requests, so I don't know why Nate isn't coming up. But no, they're not. They're not suspended. But I don't know. I hear what you're saying. You don't believe the Democrats called their side out, and we don't believe the other side called. I just say it like this. It has to. The calling out has to start somewhere. That would be like me going up, being charged with a serious felony. Let's say I get charged with murder or something, and I bring up, while I'm in the courtroom, well, you let the Klan get away with it until you go back and get all them motherfuckers that did it during the civil rights movement. You can't charge me. You let all them in the past get away. That's what you're basically doing.
Go back that far. Let's just go back one president. Let's go back one president and see how he misused the taxpayers' money. Just one time.
But
do that. Instead of jumping back to the KKK, let's jump back to the Biden era, which is about as close as you can get to the KKK.
Even that's crazy, by the way. Even if you go back to the Biden administration 2 years ago, anybody that goes to court now, should they just bring up something they know somebody else similar did that got away with it 2 years ago? Well, you didn't charge him. Why are you charging me? I mean, anybody that's charged with anything in America could bring up somebody else who did something similar and got away with it. You would never, the entire justice system would come to a halt if everybody charged could point to somebody else that got away with something.
Obviously, we're not going to agree on this because I believe in holding both parties responsible, and the Democrats only believe in holding the Republicans responsible. So with that said, we can go back to the Fauci thing. Fauci helped create the Chinese coronavirus. He was over there when that virus was being created. Okay? So if people died from the virus that he helped create, then he's responsible for the deaths that the virus that he created caused. So there's the answer to Miss Mo Butter's question.
So he just did all this on his own? He didn't get permission from the government? This guy is not the head of the government. How is he doing all this?
I didn't say. Go ahead, I apologize.
Because according to you, you don't want one person held accountable unless you do it all. I mean, Fauci didn't do all this shit in a vacuum. You think he's out there creating deadly viruses by himself? You don't think the head of the CIA or the head of the White House didn't? Somebody else knew he was doing this and let him do it. He had to get authorization. He didn't do that on his own. According to you, somebody else should be held accountable too, right?
And when that happened in the Biden era, feel free to hold any of those Democrats responsible.
It didn't. The virus was created before Biden became president. Didn't happen it happened during Trump. The virus became an issue during the Trump administration in 2019. Biden did not become president until 2021.
Right, and this would shock you. This is holding people responsible. If the Republicans knew that he was out there doing that and they were a part of it, then by all means hold them responsible, along with Fauci, which is the ones that killed all of those people that have their death certificate says killed by the coronavirus.
Okay. Well, I gotta move on, but make no mistake about it. There's no way a guy at Dr. Fauci's level is in some lab with the Chinese creating bioweapons, and our government don't know about it. He doesn't have all that power by himself. So absolutely,
hold the 30 people responsible, Fauci and the rest of them. I see. You see how I did that? I'm holding the people who were responsible for it guilty, not just the Democrats, but also the Republicans. That's what your party needs to do.
Well, to be honest with you, for all we know, Dr. Fauci may have just been following orders creating bioweapons. I mean, we want to assume that he was just some kind of mad scientist. But I mean, he could have been just like fucking Einstein with the nuclear bomb. I mean, he may have been doing the work he was told to do, because I know he didn't do that without us knowing he was doing it. So we want to blame him, but that guy may have just been doing his job.
Fine. I agree. He must have been doing something that we knew he was doing. He's still guilty. He's still guilty. He still killed people with the virus he created. He's still responsible. He should still be held guilty.
I don't look, if the US government uses you to create a bioweapon and that weapon kills people, I don't think you are responsible. Just like our government uses people to create weapons all the time, and those weapons are used to kill other people. The government is who you hold accountable, not the guy who was ordained by him to create the weapon. That would exclude him.
I'm going to hold the government responsible, and I'm going to hold the person that could have said no and walked away responsible, because he didn't have to do it. There was no.
Oh shit! Then you would.
He didn't have a gun to him and say, "Create this virus or die." Nobody did that.
Well, based on your statement, you would throw the entire U.S. military in jail, because they follow orders and kill innocent people or kill people for whatever purpose, like going into Venezuela in drug boats in the middle. I mean, they all could say no.
Another topic. I'm talking about Fauci and the
You're talking about following the orders of the government, using a weapon that takes lives. We order people in our military to do that all the time. And as you said, they can say no anytime they want.
Even people in the military can refuse orders. Even the people in the military can refuse.
That comes at a cost. You know that comes at a cost, though.
And creating a virus that kills thousands or millions of people should have been refused. It should have been said, no, I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm not going to do that. So he's guilty. Again, he's guilty.
All right. I got to move it on. You've upset my audience, but who cares? I appreciate you coming through. I got to move it on, though, conservative. Thanks for coming through. All right, moving on with the program. Dinkel says that's like saying Elon Musk is responsible for everyone who dies in a Tesla. I don't know if I would totally agree with that, but where me and him have a sticking point is the notion that basically, you know, don't say shit about Trump unless you're going to go in the past and hold everybody else accountable. I mean, that to me, that would snowball out of control, because we have been letting politicians and cops, you name it, government officials get away with shit since the beginning of time. So everybody you try to prosecute could bring up somebody else that was right before them and say, well, you let this, you would, like I told him, the whole justice system would come to a halt. If everybody could use the excuse, before you charge me, you got to charge this other person that got away with it. You wouldn't, I mean, even if you're driving down a highway and speeding, you said I was doing 10 over, that car that just went by is doing 11 over. You can't do nothing. Well, go get him first. I mean, there would be nothing you could do. Every crime you could ever think of, Somebody else did it and got away with it. And there are people that know they got away with it. I mean, you would literally, the whole system would come to a halt doing that. Tap the screen, get the lights on up. Angry man let Paw go so he can take his meds. Come on, Q. Be kind. Don't say that about the guests. Let me go back to the box. That's a Tuesday in DC. Tap the screen, by the way, get the lights on up to 90,000. We'll make it happen with the one and only Takesha Boyd. Good evening, Takesha. Welcome to the program. And Nate, I got you. Nate, I don't know why I didn't bring you up, but Takesha, good evening.
You know, Tim, I try not to come to your show, but I was passing by today. You had made me mad, Tim. I said I would never come back to your show. But listen, Tim, I was passing by and I heard good old handsome liberal.
Handsome conservative.
Talking.
Oh, I'm the liberal. He's the conservative.
Yes. Handsome conservative.
He's the handsome conservative.
Let me correct him on some things. Tim, the Democrats do hold their people responsible. The two men that were accused of essaying women, did we not step them down?
You're talking about the one over in Maine that just got,
And what's his face? What's his name? That was already in the Senate. Come on, Tim, real famous.
You're talking about in Minnesota. Al Franken, is that? What was his name? The guy over there. But Al Franken is another one though. Al Franken is another one that was in there. They held accountable. Somebody said Eric Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell. There you go. Tim, we make our people step down. Tim, who running for senator in Texas that had an affair on his wife and was just caught on a trip with his mistress?
They trying to get him to step down though.
Tim, stop. No, they not. Tim, they keep their folks. They say they don't have no proof that them folks did that wrong, and they not gonna ask them to step down. So yeah, we do hold our people accountable.
But you know, down real fast. But that's just how the parties go, Takesha. I'll tell you this. The left is more feminist and pro-woman. The right is more alpha males and pro-man. And I'll tell you, like, for instance, if you're a left-wing politician and a woman accuses you of some kind of sexual impropriety, the left tends to believe the woman first, and the guy kind of has to prove his way out. It's the exact opposite on the right. If you're a man and a woman accuses you of something, the right tends to side with the man and suggest that woman may just be doing this for some kind of agenda. So the right sides with the man, the left sides with the woman.
Tim, that's not my issue. My issue is he said that we never hold our people accountable, and he was lying.
All right, fair enough.
Secondly, let me say this. Nobody had a problem with Dr. Fauci until Trump had a problem with Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci has been working for the government for years. That man worked through the AIDS. That man worked through Ebola and all that. So you mean to tell me that he created all that? Since now all of a sudden he done created COVID in a lab. Oh, come on, Tim, let's be for real now. If Trump had never had a problem with Fauci, MAGA would have never had a problem.
And that's why I keep saying that if Trump had won in 2020 and Fauci would have done everything he did under Trump's term, including creating the virus and saving all those lives, they would have had no problem. They would not, this whole drilling, none of that would have happened.
At all, Tim. Yeah. Now all of a sudden,
I agree with that.
Because this man knew how Congress was trying to trick him, he played the field. Now all of a sudden, he done created all these, created the whole virus, what they call the flu, because they said it was just the flu. And they said the people that passed had those that had already had stuff that really unalived them. It really wasn't COVID. Now all of a sudden, he the mastermind behind COVID, and he was just taking folks out. They talk about the man diary, they ain't read it. They don't know what's in it. They just making up stuff in it. It's really getting ridiculous out here in these MAGA streets. And all it is, Tim, is a distraction. You done brought COVID was 6 years ago. Why now you bringing COVID up?
Yeah.
Because you got nothing else to run on. The board ain't working no more. The immigrants ain't working no more. You can't distract us with the war. All of a sudden, you got to find a boogeyman, so now it's COVID.
How about this, though? In the comments, Handsome, sort of my last caller says, everybody who passed away from COVID is a dead person because of Fauci creating that virus.
Tim, let me explain something to you. I have long COVID. I got a lot of issues from when I had COVID. My lungs messed up, my heart messed up, I got asthma, I got all kind of stuff. I do not blame Dr. Fauci, because Dr. Fauci ain't made no COVID. Like he didn't make Ebola, he didn't make AIDS, he didn't create none of this stuff. Stop blaming that man and lying on that man. The Lord gonna get you, handsome conservative, for lying on that man.
That's a devout Christian you're talking about.
He's not a devout Christian, he's a liar.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I mean,
he is a liar. He didn't see that man go over there and make nothing, and you need to quit lying on that man. You don't have any proof that that man did anything. You're just lying to get your narrative up. Stop lying.
Well, I do agree with the part of the only reason they grilled the guy was for political purposes. I mean, he's been pardoned. So what is the purpose 7 years later, or 6 years later, 7 years later almost, of bringing him in? Now, he wants to talk to you. So, conservative, are you there?
Tim, the midterms coming. They got nothing to run on. What have they done that has helped the American people? That's what you run on. But when you ain't did nothing to help us, you ain't got nothing to run on. So now you want to create another boogeyman. Here we go with COVID.
It might work. Conservative, are you there?
Okay. Oh, I'm here. Oh, boy. Listen, just because we don't share the same political views doesn't mean that I'm not a Christian. First of all, that's very unchristian of you to say that about me. Second of all, Fauci was there when the virus was being created. Fauci did have a responsibility in creating that virus. He did do that. So all I'm saying is the people that died from that virus that he helped create didn't do it on his own, but helped created it, which he did. Those deaths are on his hands. Now,
handsome conservative.
I understand you're a Democrat and you like to
handsome conservative.
Okay. All right. She wants to respond back. Okay, go ahead, Takesha.
First of all, the Bible said, "Do not bear a false witness." That's bearing a false witness when you weren't there to see him do anything. You're lying on the man.
Oh shit! They took the assets down on TikTok. Conservative. I guess what.
I'm okay with that. That's why more you guys need to come over to Clapper, because we can have a real good argument over here. No shutting it down at all.
Yeah, I don't know why TikTok has gotten to be so fucking censoring like that. But folks who are
too many Democrats complaining on people, they're shutting down lives. If I say something on TikTok that they don't like, they give me a strike. I come over here, I can say whatever I want. No strikes. No getting kicked off.
I'll tell you though, I disagree with you in suggesting it's just Democrats, because obviously I'm liberal and I get all sorts of strikes and warnings on my program talking negative about Trump. So it's as you would say, both sides doing it. I mean, I'm sure it ain't just liberals doing it.
Now you do. Okay. See, that's convenient.
Because this is my personal experience.
Both sides.
Yeah, because this is my personal experience. I know my program is not a conservative program and a bunch of liberals. No, it's some Trump folks that are doing it. I mean, I get liberals that do it too, but I'm sure on my program it's mostly.
Didn't you say most of your Republicans were on YouTube and don't call that? Isn't that what you often said? Most of your Republicans are on YouTube. So if most of your Republicans are on YouTube and the Democrats have overtaken TikTok, which believe me, they have. That's why I came over to Clapper. Okay, then that only leaves one side.
No, because it ain't like I don't have any.
It doesn't matter. Look.
Yeah, I definitely have conservatives on TikTok. Yeah, I definitely have conservatives on TikTok. I got far more liberals on there, but there are definitely, and also too, when the show is going, people come in and out all the time. I get folks, African Americans that come in, see the red hat behind me and start going all off of me because they think I'm a Trump supporter. So I get MAGA that come in and hear me talk for 5 minutes and they call me a libtard. So it don't have to be an ongoing guest.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, man, I'm going to be the first to tell you, you are a brave son of a bitch having that fucking hat behind you. I have nothing but respect for you, and I did get you to put on the hat. If not, I still didn't get that clip, though.
No comment. No comment.
Look, all I wanted to say to Miss Mobetter is we can have disagreements about the party, and we can have disagreements about Fauci. I can respect that. But Miss Mobetter, do better. Don't call out people and say they're not Christian. If you're a Christian, you should know better than that. Don't do that. I take my faith very seriously. I may not be on your side of the aisle, but honey, please don't do that. Do better, Miss Mobetter.
All right.
And I'll let you go.
Thank you.
For all you other Democrats that want to fuck with me, I got a shit ton of money in my wallet here and a shit ton of flags. Let's go.
All right. Handsome conservative, everybody. Thank you very much. In the comments, real quick, I got to see how I can. We can still run a show with every other platform other than TikTok. What I was trying to see if I could do is bring up one of the other platforms. We'll go over to Dencal on Instagram. Good evening, Dencal. In fact, I should move Dencal to the center, but we'll try for here if he comes up. In the comments, the handsome conservative is Christian. You asked Trump to wipe. Wait a minute. Lonely Therapy says the handsome conservative is not Christian. You asked Trump to wipe out a whole civilization just because of Israel. Yikes. He has a little bit of validity there, conservative. Everybody who passed, okay, and it didn't count. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You've heard a lot. What brings you up?
Hey, what happened?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just got a double.
You got something going on. Okay. What I'll do is I'll reset it and bring you up, and we'll try it again. Let me close it on this side. I'm gonna try to bring it up in a better position so that folks can hear it even better. Since TikTok is down, I'm going to use. I'm going to put Instagram in the center. So give me a second here, briefly, to bring it back up. And looking in the comments, anyone connected to Epstein was collaborating with a foreign spy, which is sedition and espionage. The sentence is hanging. How do you know Epstein was? What are you suggesting that Epstein? You giving Epstein credit for something I haven't heard? I have not heard that Epstein was involved in all of that. Well, I did hear somebody say that. I don't know how much validity is to it, but I did hear somebody say that. Okay, let me go ahead and start the live back on Instagram. Tim, write down my LOO. I got you with the Galaxy, Nate. I got you. We'll remember it. The IOU you're saying. Like I said, all you got to do is look around. There hasn't been marches on the street like that since the Million Man March a long time ago. Look how many people are out on the streets. Okay. Cal, put in your request on Instagram. And while you're doing that, I'll go to MAGA Reacts on Clapper. Good evening, MAGA Reacts. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much at all. Rough show, we got into discussing COVID, and TikTok, of course, didn't like it, but all the other platforms are up and running as usual. So I was asking a question, though.
Yeah, I don't think it was either side. I think it's just AI picking up keywords and shit.
That's a good point.
If you just said CV19, it wouldn't have done anything.
That is very possible. I mean, I thought C19, I thought the whole censorship governing C19 was over with. I mean, that's just been 6 years ago.
You never really brought it up. We never really discussed it on your live before the Fauci thing. But now we've been talking about it heavily. Like, I don't know. I feel like the lie, they let you get away with it until they don't.
once you're flagged for that shit, you gotta be careful. If you're not flagged for it, you can talk about it every now and then, no problem.
I have no clue why TikTok is the only platform that, I mean, Instagram, all the other platforms, none of the other platforms censor every damn thing like that. I have no idea why TikTok, the censorship is so great.
Yeah, from day one though, TikTok was like that. I tried to upload from day one I was trying to upload some video about elections, and it wouldn't let me say the word election in the video. I had to fucking undo it. Yeah. You can tell like the keywords by trying to upload a video more than the live. The live, it takes them a while to catch you.
Yeah, Hamas is one of those words, because I think me and Gen X was typing something, and he was talking about how untrustworthy Iran is, and I'm like, why the hell would you expect anybody to trust America at this point? And I was trying to type in Iran and Hamas, and it would not let me type the word Hamas in. So TikTok is kind of like that.
The other thing is, that was Takesha, not Miss Mo Better. They sound exactly the same.
I talked to Miss Mo Better first, and then Takesha in second. So I've talked to both of them today.
I got you. Okay. But I think Handsome was talking to Keisha specifically, but I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So anyway, I'm asking the question because I'm sure you've heard that Jeanine Pirro, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, is dropping the charges against this Olympian that allegedly vandalized the reflective pool, and Trump is angry with her and allegedly contemplating firing her from the job. Now, my point is, Jeanine Pirro, even though I lean left, Jeanine Pirro is good MAGA. She is what I would refer to, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene was good MAGA. Why is MAGA sitting back allowing Trump to cannibalize good members of the party?
I don't think they're allowing shit. These people just give up too quickly. I mean, look at what's his name, the intelligence guy, Joe whatever. He's been one of those, like, even though he quit the administration and all that shit, he's maintaining that he's MAGA, and he hasn't quit, and as far as I know, he's still MAGA, but I could be wrong about that shit. But I think these people are just quitting and saying that they're not, like, if I'm still MAGA, I don't care what Trump says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was getting death threats. Marjorie Taylor
They're quitting.
Marjorie Taylor
trying to do MAGA without Trump, but trying to find another name, but I don't think MAGA is Trump. I think MAGA is anyone that wants to make this fucking country a better country.
Do you think Trump is making the fucking country a better country?
I think he's trying to.
That ain't what I asked you.
He's doing a good job right now.
I mean, that ain't.
Because of that, he's got good intention, but not only does he have to fucking fight Iran, he's got to fight the Democrats. And,
how is he? Wait. How is he fighting the Democrats? Have no power.
Might as well be fucking,
How is he fighting? That doesn't make sense.
They're helping Americans.
That doesn't make sense. The Democrats have no power. You got the Supreme Court and every damn thing. How are you fighting the Democrats? They are barely even an obstacle at this point.
Listen, there's power in their rhetoric, just like there's power in
what is he?
Rhetoric.
Okay.
That's why you're on here talking about his rhetoric.
Give me an example of something.
Actions like a third of the time.
Give me an example. Well, he's the president.
They said that.
Give me an example of something. Give me an example. Hold on, hang on. You're going on and on. Give me an example of something Trump tried to do and the Democrats prevented him from doing it. You said the Democrats are stopping him from making America. Give me something that he tried to do and it was stopped by the Democrat Party.
Well, right now he's trying to defeat Iran, but with the fucking midterms looming and the Democrats basically...
That ain't what you said.
The Democrats are going to fuck up his...
That's not what you just said. You're moving the goalposts.
The enemies are just waiting.
You're moving the goalposts.
For the midterms.
That ain't what you just said.
Every time we go online, the enemy is literally waiting for the midterms because they know the fucking Democrats are on their side. So they're fucking up his efforts in Iran. They're fucking up a lot of his shit. I mean, they're protesting and causing violence.
What is the Democrat? What is the Democrat? Wait, hold on. Your answers are too long. Hang on. Your answers are way too.
I mean,
give me something. Hold on. You're still going. Your answer is still. I'm about to mute you. God damn. Your answers are too long, MAGA. First of all, give me something that Trump tried to do to make America great, and the Democrats stopped him. You said he's trying to make America great and the Democrats are stopping it. Give me an example of something that fits that narrative.
I mean, I just gave you a bunch of them. He's trying to destroy our enemies in Iran and just making Iran a friend, just like Germany, just like Japan. You're talking about how, like, Iran's going to be our enemy forever, especially after this, but look at Japan, Iraq, Germany, they're all our friends now, and they all started out as our worst enemies.
Okay, you said you said he's trying to take care of Iran, and the Democrats are trying to stop him. You said he's trying to make Iran a friend. Okay, let's start out with how are the Democrats preventing him from trying to stop Iran? In what way?
Because they don't support him.
You don't need him.
They're going against him, and like if they win the midterms, that's the end of
That's in the future.
Situation.
We're talking about now. We're talking about now.
Is going to get crippled.
I'm not. Wait. You said they're trying to stop him. What have they done? They don't have any power. He can do what he wants. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How are you blaming it? You got control of everything. What can the Democrats do to stop him from what he's trying to do in Iran?
Well, I mean, you say it every time you come on here. The looming midterms are making it hard for him to negotiate because all Iran has to do is wait for the midterms and the Democrats to win over the place. So if the Democrats actually supported him and they're like, we don't like what he's doing, but we're still going to back him up even after the midterms, he could probably make a peace deal a lot quicker if the fucking Iranians knew that the midterms, even if Trump lost, it's not going to affect anything.
Dinkel says, is this guy high?
They have to wait for fucking midterms, and then most likely
this doesn't.
They'll have way more favorable terms after the midterms.
So what you're basically saying is Trump can't do what he wants because he's a politician. I mean, we can say what you just said in regards to Trump about any politician in existence. Yes, the other side is going to counter some of your. I mean, Obama could have been the best president ever, but the Republicans stopped him. You can say that about anybody. He's a politician. That's what happens. You're going to get opposition. You don't expect the other side to just agree with everything you want to do.
Even Obama didn't get this level of opposition when it comes to like foreign policy, when it comes to our enemies.
They stopped Obama from.
We're in a straight up war.
That's
you
crazy.
Don't see like the Libyan people or the Syrian Assad waiting for midterms to defeat Obama. You remember Assad having to wait and be like, hey,
no, but I do remember Obama.
Syrian war.
I do remember Obama being denied a Supreme Court pick. Do we count that?
No, because that's not war. That's not.
Oh, it's got to be war. You do realize the implications of preventing a Supreme Court pick is going to be years, as opposed to the war will. Trump stop. Oh, better yet, Mitch. Oh no, wait a minute. Let me get it out. Mitch McConnell stopped. Wait. Hold on.
It might cause Trump to lose the war in Iran.
Mitch McConnell stopped a pick.
Did not cause
yeah, but how much shit has been lost because of that Supreme Court pick? That'll be around for 30, 40 years. How much shit did the Democrats lose by that Supreme Court pick? Should we ignore all of that because it's not a war?
We're specifically talking about Iran here.
That's crazy.
You could take the entire Supreme Court right now, and say Trump had picks and he took them all away from him. If all 7 Supreme Court guys died tomorrow and he's got 7 picks, and you're like, you can't have any picks, and we're just gonna let the next president decide, it wouldn't really affect the Iran war.
Dinkel, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you hearing this?
Yeah.
Barely. Clapper is not as good as TikTok when it comes to audio.
Okay. Can you hear me, Dinkel? Because he basically did the equivalent of sending a galaxy. I don't know he's having some kind of problems over there apparently.
Yeah, I'm having some kind of difficulty. I don't know what it is, but it's layering the conversation. It's doing like 2 times.
Okay, drop and put in the Dinkel. Drop and put in your request again. Say that again, MAGA.
I'll try to go over to Clapper and see if that works better.
Okay, go to Clapper. Okay.
Yeah, come to Clapper. I might be able to hear you.
All right, he's going to come over there to Clapper. He's gonna. It does. I've seen people have, just like with TikTok, you can have multiple people up at a time. I saw somebody doing that earlier on Clapper. So we'll see what happens. In the comments, I'll read a couple comments while we wait.
The problem with Clapper is when you stop talking, it mutes you. So you have to keep talking, or it's gonna mute you.
Oh shit! That's why you doing that. Clapper's trying to do me a favor with you. In the comments, Uncanny says everyone who called COVID a hoax is guilty as Fauci is, but MAGAs change their story every 5 minutes. All they do is deflect and move the goalposts. That's why it's always about. I agree. That's a statement for handsome conservative. I do agree that if you're going to point out the dangers of COVID, yeah, I agree with that viewer. Anybody calling it a hoax is just as responsible. And with Trump saying that COVID was going to go away by April and then being caught on a phone call admitting that he knew it was very deadly, I don't understand why Fauci is the only person getting questioned. As conservatives said, if you're going to hold one accountable, hold them all.
We found out that Fauci paid for it. Fauci lied about it. Fauci was talking to people in New York and the CDC and all that shit to close their schools. Fauci closed their schools, closed our churches, closed all our shit. Trump didn't. Trump closed it for 2 weeks and that was it.
No, but he lied. He gave bad information that some people, there were people who trusted what was coming out of Trump's mouth more than Fauci. And Trump said stuff that, like the Herman Cain, the presidential contender, people died based on what Trump has said. I'm sure that Fauci ain't the only one that people trusted and took seriously. People died based on Trump's advice too.
Except we know for a fact Fauci was lying.
We know for a fact Trump was lying. We know
he was straight up lying because he had people telling him he had 12 people or 10 people telling him this shit came from a lab.
Okay.
He was lying to us, telling us.
What's the difference though?
That came from market.
So what's the difference? What's the difference?
If paying for it and funding it.
Lied about funding it. Okay, if Trump says it's if Trump says it's a hoax, I don't get if Trump says it's a hoax and he knows it's not, because he got access to Fauci and everybody else, he's lying about it too. What's the difference?
What the Democrats were doing was a hoax. What the Democrats' rhetoric was a hoax. When he says that something's a hoax, he's talking about the Democrats' rhetoric and the shit they're trying to fucking spread.
So
all the lies the Democrats was spreading was the hoax. Like, hoax is not the right word, but I don't think there's a better word for it. You know?
So when he said it'll be gone by April, what is that?
That's just a guess that didn't come true. That's just a prediction that didn't come true. I mean, based on the knowledge we had at the time, we didn't know better.
Why would you pick a random day and say it'll be gone by then? That ain't a guess. That's a lie, dude. You have no scientific data whatsoever to pick a random day and say it'll be gone by then.
No, I think he used the flu as an example.
He has no scientific data for that.
I don't know too much about the flu, but I think he used the flu as an example, and he figured the flu season ends around then. This virus might go away around the same time.
But you don't even know what it is yet. How can you put it in the category of something that you do know?
We knew a lot about it.
No, you didn't. People were still People were still dying in droves. You do realize he was. You do realize he was caught on the phone admitting that this stuff was way more deadly than the flu, right? He was telling us one thing, and on the phone he got caught saying something totally different. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but again, that's opinion. Like, we knew exactly how deadly it was.
Okay, well, Fauci was giving an opinion. How can you prove?
How deadly it was.
How can you prove what Fauci said is not an opinion? How can you prove what Fauci said was not an opinion?
Because he wrote in his diary otherwise.
He wrote opinions in his diary.
Exact opposite. And we're talking about not opinions. We're talking about him funding. We're talking about him closing schools. We're talking about him funding the virus, funding the Wuhan lab it leaked from. We're talking about him lying about it being a lab leak.
Yeah,
we're talking about things that he even still till today admits that he didn't. He basically came on TV and said, "Oh, I never told anyone to close schools." Yeah. And we have it in his fucking diary telling the governor of New York and the governor of and the mayor of New York City and the governor of California to close schools.
Yeah.
So how is he on TV telling? After we realized closing schools was a stupid move, he got on TV and told everybody, he's like, no, I never said that we closed the schools.
Yeah, here's where you lose me.
Closed the schools. And then it's in his diary.
Yeah, here's where you lose me.
And he did it all for the media. He did it all because he wants to be best friends with Oprah and fucking, all these celebrities and have dinner with Jake Tapper and shit.
Yeah, here's where you lose me. If you got a pandemic going on and people are dropping dead all over the place, this bullshit of, well, I just went on TV and gave somebody an opinion. It ain't based on no scientific data whatsoever. It'll be gone by April. It was just an opinion. To me, you need to be, especially if people are listening to that and dying.
He was a scientist. Fauci said he was a scientist.
It doesn't matter.
He claimed to have said was backed up by science, which we now know it wasn't science. It was just what he felt like saying because the scientists told him otherwise. Trump never claimed to be the scientist.
That's not true. That is not true. That he did. Trump. No, that is not true. Trump stated. Hold on, hang on. Trump clearly stated, "I know more about COVID than anybody else."
And he bribed them. He bribed them with fucking what's it called?
He going MAGA. You gotta hold on. You
scientists to agree with him.
I'm gonna have to drop you. You hold on. You just talking on. Hold on, dude.
Grants to these scientists to agree with him.
Okay. You gotta shorten you talking over everybody. Your answers are long. You're not hearing anything in the middle. First of all,
I know clever sucks.
Okay, well, shorten your how about this? I'll put a hand up when you're going on and on because you're saying so much I can't even remember to respond to all of it because you're saying so much. But you do realize that Trump said I know more about COVID than anybody, right? You do realize he stated that.
I do remember that, but I know Trump is not a scientist. I know this man's a scientist.
So did he lie?
He bribed scientists to agree with him.
Okay, he can't hear you. He can't.
He told the CDC what to do. Which is the head of our science.
Yeah,
basically.
What I think what's happening is when he's talking, Clapper is muting us or something, but you don't have to be a scientist to be a liar. If he says I know more about COVID than anybody, that's a lie. Well, I'm not a scientist, so I can lie? It's a lie. Okay, Dencal, go ahead, Dencal. Dencal.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of ask him a question. He seems to not understand. I just want to ask him a simple question. If you run a business and you bring somebody in as a consultant to your business and they make a policy for you, and then that policy fails, do you get to say that the guy you hired failed the company and not you as the owner? You don't get to blame other people because of somebody that you brought in as a professional.
MAGA.
One, Trump didn't bring him in. He inherited him, and this is politics. Trump doesn't have control over our government like he would one of his businesses.
He does have control over who is making policy.
We have evidence in this man's diary that he fucking lied to him. So if the guy's lying to you left and right, and he's a political hire that you can't get rid of because it hurts you politically, I mean, this isn't the same as one of Trump's businesses.
Okay,
but he also gave the guy an award, and he also let the guy speak every night into the country. That has to be the worst leadership in the history of the world.
That was talking based on science, and we didn't know he was lying to us.
Okay, MAGA react.
Hold on.
He basically said, I am the science. And we trusted him because we figured.
Okay, Hank MAGA. God damn. This don't work well when he's talking like that. He's going on and on.
Yeah, that platform is not good for your program. But
way more trust than Trump.
Yeah, he's still going on and on and on. He don't even know we talking. Okay, the point he's trying to make to you. First of all, okay, wait a minute, dude. You talking way too much to interrupt. Okay, first of all, when you say he didn't hire him, he inherited him. If you become the CEO of a company and somebody that's already employed there is going out and speaking for the company, the fact that you inherited him is meaningless. If that person fucks up, it's now on you. So bringing up the inheritance means nothing. So, but Dencal, go listen to Dencal before you interrupt him. Dencal, no, it don't. Go ahead, Dencal.
I wanted to ask him, does he understand what gain of function science is.
Yes, I understand what it is. I understand the risk involved.
Okay. In layman's terms, just tell us what it means.
Guess what? Fauci fucking gambled and lost. His research caused COVID.
Tell us what gain of function means. In layman's terms, you don't have to be a scientist to understand what it means.
You find a vaccine to it, so you have a vaccine to a more deadly virus. So just in case that virus is developed either naturally or through fucking bioweaponry, you have a fucking vaccine ready for it. But then you're also creating the fucking poison that you're trying to find a cure for when you could have just not created the poison in the first place. I mean,
that's fine. That's fine. So now, if he's involved in something which obviously the United States government has a hand in, and somehow it escapes a lab, how is he responsible personally for the deaths that affected escaping from a lab?
Because he was the decision maker that paid for that.
No, the government funded this shit.
I think even Obama outlawed it toward the end.
No, Obama outlawed stem cells. You getting it mixed up.
Obama was against it, and it was kind of made illegal, but Fauci still found a way to pay for it.
No, you cannot find a way to pay for it in China, dude.
I don't know exact details when it comes to this.
You can't find a way to pay for it in China. I mean, they just got their mind made up. They want to scapegoat Fauci.
I know. That's why I wanted to ask him, because he does understand what gain of function is, and he does understand that there's no way that some guy in America was paying for gain of function studies in China.
What
if it gets out, it's the government's fault if it gets out. Not one guy that they chose to head the science.
And that's what I say. If you hire somebody to make a bioweapon or whatever, I mean, because there's no way in hell Fauci was just secretly working on a deadly virus by himself. The government knew that. So you're right. If the government, let's say when the government hired Einstein to develop the nuclear bomb, or whoever that scientist was from Germany, hired this guy to make the atom bomb, a lot of folks caught radiation poison and died during that time. You don't just blame this one dude for that. I mean, the government sanctioned him to deal with this poison.
How many scientists died of radiation?
A lot of them.
Percentage of the population of the whole world.
It doesn't.
A lot of people that they had set up those experiments died.
Include all the people that died from the bombs. It doesn't even compare.
I'm not talking about the people that died from the bomb. I'm not talking about the people. Yeah, he going on. I'm not talking about people that died from the bomb. I'm talking about people that died from the experiments to get up to the bomb. I mean, they tested the bomb out in the middle of the desert and shit. They killed people.
It was like 2 or 3 people.
Hey, how many people got in trouble for the Tuskegee experiment?
Maybe 10 people max.
That's a good.
People died from CV-19.
That's a good question. Dinkel, hold on.
Today we know better.
Dinkel asked a good question. Go ahead, Dinkel.
How many people got in trouble or got persecuted or who got blamed for the Tuskegee experiment?
I don't know. Back then, we didn't know better. What part of that don't you
know? We didn't know better. We had Einstein back there. We had the smartest. We had the forefathers.
Do you know what
we had all of these great people. What are you talking about? We didn't know better.
Yeah, do you know what the Tuskegee experiment was? Fucking Al Capone died of syphilis. That was before. Yeah, they knew what that was. What are you talking about?
So wait. You're saying that the Tuskegee experiment was bad, and you're cool with what Fauci did, which is basically the same thing?
These are people who willingly did experiments on people. That's different than gain of function experiment getting out of a lab.
They're willingly creating viruses to cure syphilis or to cure CV-19 or whatever.
We're talking about using human beings as opposed to being in a lab.
Yeah, you're holding Fauci accountable for something that got out of the lab. Nobody is saying Fauci deliberately intended to give people COVID. The Tuskegee experiment, they intended to make people sick. That was the goal, is to make them sick.
Okay. All right. I'm not.
Okay. What the fuck?
Even if I say okay, I'll give you a pass for the leak because
you don't have to give me a pass. You have to say, you have to admit that you were fucking wrong, dude.
He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do that. Yeah,
He's supposed to be the scientist. I mean, it's like if your boss tells you you're gonna feel better in a week, and then you go to the doctor and he tells you you're not, lies to you. You're like, oh, but my boss told me this. The doctor's supposed to be the more trustworthy source.
Wow.
Here's where I disagree with you with the scientist and the doctor. It would be different. It would be different if we were talking about what Dr. Fauci said versus Tucker Carlson or somebody. But you're the president. Well, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. You are the fucking president. During the pandemic, you are responsible for what you say. Certainly if you're going out and telling people I know more about COVID than anybody, you are responsible. Just because you don't have a PhD or something, you're responsible.
Example, if the CEO, you have cancer, and the CEO tells you, oh no, you're going to be fine, you don't need any cancer meds, and then the doctor tells you you need cancer meds, who do you listen to, the CEO or the doctor?
One thing he's not understanding, Tim, is that what we encountered was called a novel virus, which means it was new. So anything that Fauci was trying to predict and understand and protect us from was an educated guess. So if anybody, can you imagine the cooling effect it's going to have right now for any scientist that encounter a motherfucking a pandemic right now? Because when you're trying to give advice about how to slow it down or stop it, and everybody goes back and says, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, we're just not going to do it. Or if they do it and it doesn't work, they're going to say you intentionally killed people. That's not what science is about. They were trying to figure things out. At first he said, don't wear a mask. Then he said, yeah, you should wear a mask.
Yeah. That's why they call medicine a practice.
More responsible than the regular person as the president.
Yeah, that's
one person is responsible for 9 million deaths. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
The diary shows that he did know better. That's the problem. The diary fucking shows.
Well, the diary shows that Trump,
knew better, and he was fucking telling
video show us that Trump did know better. Audio recordings show us that Trump did know better, and he told people. Who's more influential, Trump or Fauci?
He's gonna say Fauci, but you're right, Cal. The video shows that Trump knew better also. They just trying to say, well, because Dr. Fauci was a scientist, his words should matter more. What?
How did Trump know better?
Because he's on the phone call admitting that he knows it's deadly, more deadlier than the flu. He's on a phone call saying that, and he's telling the public it's no worse than the flu. They got him on a phone call saying he knew it was deadly.
He's saying, I like to play it down.
Yeah, but we don't know where he got the info from.
Doesn't
matter. He likes to play it down. He got the info. He knew it was worse than it was.
About it. Trump could have been just guessing. We have no evidence of Trump knowing better because 12 scientists told him otherwise.
If you get out there and say, yeah, that's crazy. If you get out there and say, I know more about COVID than anybody, you kind of removed your ability to say, I'm just guessing. You just told everybody you know what the fuck you're talking about. Now you got caught in a lie. Well, I was just guessing. To me, there's no way you're going to hold Fauci accountable without Trump as well.
While he says out loud, I try to play it down because I don't want people to panic. So he's saying I lied to people.
And be like, oh no, but Trump said this.
Yeah.
He said I lied to people. MAGA reacts.
Lying to you, and you're like, oh, the president lying is the same shit. Like
it is the same shit. You over a country with 300 and some million people. Yes, you cannot lie and say because I'm a scientist, I'm not a scientist. It don't mean as much. Yeah, you don't.
And by the way, in the end, Trump's instincts was better. Yeah. But the problem is he didn't follow his instinct. He followed whatever Fauci said.
Okay, well then blame him then.
Everyone decide on their own, and Fauci went behind his back and told these governors to decide based on what he said.
Okay, that's cool, Tim. he just admitted that Trump caused death because he didn't go with his instincts. Can we agree on that, MAGA React? He caused deaths because he did not. It doesn't matter who he listened. It doesn't matter who he listened to. He caused death.
He let New York do what it wanted to do. He let Florida do what it wanted to do.
But that's the.
He didn't let them do what they wanted to do. It's the law. He couldn't control them.
What he wants to do.
But that's the point that Dencal is making, is that if you give out bad information, you don't get a discount because you listen to somebody. You're the president of the United States. Either you tell people what's right or you tell people what's wrong. You don't get a pass because you listen to somebody. You wouldn't give anybody else a pass for that.
Just as much as Trump. In fact, Fauci was on TV more than Trump, especially when it comes to you fucking libtards.
Because Trump allowed him to be on TV.
And all this other shit. He became your fucking god hero that you're still defending, even though he caused you fucking so many people to die.
I gotta move it on, but I want you guys. I want you guys to both hear. Hold on, I want you to hear this video, and the shit you said is crazy. But I want you
only
to
7 weeks until the November election, President Trump's own words might have become his biggest obstacle. In the early months of the pandemic, President Trump tried to reassure Americans that COVID-19 would disappear, praising his own administration's response.
I think it's going to work out good. There's no reason to panic because we have done so good.
But those comments now face a renewed scrutiny as audio from a private interview with veteran reporter Bob Woodward show Trump admitting he knew of the serious threat COVID presented, including airborne transmission.
That's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus.
The admission calls into question the decision to not implement a mask mandate. The interview also shows that the president held back information that critics argue could have saved lives.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down. Yes, sir. Because I don't want to create a panic.
The president never downplayed the virus. Once again, the president expressed...
And this bitch is lying too, but how do you... Now, he's admitting that he lied.
These regular masks didn't do shit.
But he is admitting that he downplayed it. He's admitting that he downplayed it. He's admitting he lied.
Trump was right. Trump was way more right than fucking COVID lies.
Okay. Based on what you're saying, it's okay to lie. That's all I'm saying. He's admitting he lied. You're coming up with ways to defend him from lying. Well, in his case, it was an opinion. In his case, he listened to somebody. You're defending him lying.
Even his lie is not really a lie because we always knew it was deadlier than fucking the flu. But we knew that. Why did we think it was safer than the flu?
Holy shit!
I gotta go, gentlemen. I gotta go.
He gotta be getting paid. He gotta be getting paid by Trump. There is no fucking way he got up here and said that.
His fucking words, just like the media.
Even his.
No, nobody's twisting it. He played a recording of the man.
And then we have it in his diary where he's telling
Hey, Tim, before I go.
Go ahead.
Before I go, I just want him to hear. I'm going to play another, it's only going to be a couple of seconds. I want him to hear what Trump says out of his own mouth and respond to it, if that's okay.
All right, hold on, MAGA Reacts. Dencal's going to play a clip. I'm just laughing. He said even his lies ain't lies. Okay, play this.
All right, just take a listen to what he said.
Listen to him. Listen to him. But MAGA, hold on, listen to the clip.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that.
Okay, so this is when his first administration, he's talking about Qatar is the biggest funder of terrorism in the Middle East. The same people he accepted the fucking jet from.
Hold on. He said they were funding them, not the biggest. Iran's always been the biggest.
Oh!
So, first of all, you're fucking lying, and you just heard the video 2 seconds ago. He says they're funding terrorism and needs to stop. He didn't say they're the biggest.
Oh, okay. I'll roll with that. I'll roll with that. Not the biggest, but one of them.
It's always been the biggest.
Now those people have given our president, your president, my president, a jet to fly around in, and you cool with that?
Because I don't know what
you cool with you okay? You okay with a funder of terrorism?
Are they still funding terrorism today? Well,
yes.
You're not telling me much here, buddy.
Yes, they didn't fucking stop because he made that speech.
Alright, they must have done something.
Right.
I mean,
shut the fuck up, you stupid motherfucker.
All right, DK. He can be frustrating at times. Thank you for coming through. I gotta go, MAGA Reacts. I gotta go. Thank you.
You're not giving me enough information.
All right.
I can only go off what you're giving me.
Okay, I gave you enough, and you sure gave it back. Tap the screen. Oh, wait a minute. This is a whole different line because I'm not on TikTok. All right, well, shit, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Oh, my God. In regards to the poll we had going on, which was, do you think Fauci committed any crimes during the pandemic? There was a good amount of you said, yeah. It moved up. We got 200 and almost 300 people. Almost 300 people responded to that question. Do you think Fauci committed any crimes during the pandemic? Out of that 280 plus, 43% of you said yes. So almost half. 43-57. So 57% said no, 43% said yes. That Fauci committed crimes. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats before we wrap it up. The Egyptian magician, says Jay Sid, referring to MAGA Reacts as the Egyptian physician. Oh, God. In the comments before I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. I saw your in Dinkow. Dinkow, I know that was frustrating for Dinkow. MAGA Reacts is an acquired taste. I'll just say that. Because, and I see Handsome Conservative was also pushing it like that as well. Handsome Conservative was saying that they will hold Trump responsible, yet they don't want to hold Fauci responsible. To me, I believe in that age-old phrase, the buck stops here. I just like we were using if you're the head of a corporation and one of your consultants give bad information to another company or to the customers, you don't blame the consultant. It's going to fall on the head of the corporation. And yeah, so I agree with you, Handsome Conservative, when you say they'll hold Trump responsible, yet they don't want to hold Fauci responsible. I think Trump is the head of the country. I don't favor Trump constantly picking people under him and blaming them for stuff that happened during his administration. If your taxes leaked while you were the head of the IRS, the buck stops with you. If the elections were stolen while you were the head of the country, the buck stops with you. If pandemics and viruses got out of control while you were the head of the country, what did you do about it? I mean, it's like when things go well, because I got MAGA now that are trying to tell me in various live streams and comment sections that the president has nothing to do with the gas prices. Gas prices are up right now. Well, Trump has nothing to do with that. You wasn't saying that when he had the State of the Union address, when he was bragging about gas prices being $2 a gallon. You weren't saying that during Biden's watch when gas was $4 a gallon at the highest peak. All of a sudden, gas is getting out of control under Trump, and suddenly, he ain't really got nothing to do with it. Bullshit. So I don't favor this notion of we're going to take credit for the good and blame the bad on somebody else. If you are a president and there are issues happening that are going wrong with federal organizations, that's on you. Because you are the one that appoints the head of all those organizations, whether we're talking the Board of Education, the EPA. I mean, all of these are your organizations. When you become president, you appoint the head of all those organizations. Because as Dinkel, my last caller, was rightfully pointing out, Dr. Fauci and Trump on television doesn't happen if Trump doesn't want him on television. Dr. Fauci giving advice to the American people on what to do with the virus doesn't happen if Trump doesn't want him to. There's a whole lot of things that were going on in this country that would not have happened if Trump didn't want it to. So we're pretending like Dr. Fauci was just operating all on his own in a vacuum. No, Trump is idly sitting by letting him do this stuff. So if he's making bad decisions, how does that not fall on Trump? Because if the pandemic had been managed with stellar results, guess who would have been taking credit for that? President Trump. He would have been bragging that I managed the pandemic even better than Obama handled Ebola. And you guys would have been right on the bandwagon giving him credit for it. But when it goes wrong, somehow, some way, now if the pandemic was managed well, you guys wouldn't be saying shit about Dr. Fauci. It would be Trump. That would be Trump that did that. If he convinced everybody to take the vaccine and all of a sudden all these, the virus was handled well and it went away, you guys would happily give Trump credit for it. But when it goes bad, you pick a lower subordinate? No. Now, I'm not saying that there may not be a possibility that Fauci did something wrong. But the point I'm making is he was hired by the U.S. government. This is what Denkow was saying, and I agree with also. He was hired by the U.S. government. If he is making dangerous viruses, the U.S. government is aware of that. He's not doing that in a vacuum. They are aware of what he's doing. You guys talking about gain of function research, all that. They are aware of all of that shit. So if it goes wrong, he was sanctioned by the U.S. government. I mentioned the atomic bomb. When we decided it would be easier, it would be lower amounts of casualties to bomb the Japanese as opposed to invading them and putting boots on the ground. When they were trying to develop that weapon, people were diagnosed with radiation poisoning. Some people died. No, it wasn't anywhere near the numbers of the pandemic, but it was an American experiment, an American sanctioned experiment that led to the deaths of people. They dropped the bomb in Los Alamos. They've made all sorts of land and territory uninhabitable for years. People lost their lives through our Manhattan Project or whatever the hell it was called. It was sanctioned by the U.S. government. You don't go and blame all the scientists in relations to it. It goes all the way up to the top. And when that atomic program was successful, all the way up to the top, they got credit for it. The president of the United States at the time took credit for that. So if it fails, they get credit for that also. So I don't know how Dr. Fauci is getting. And then with Trump is particularly concerning because it ain't like Fauci just worked for the government and was fucking up on his own. In Trump's case, Trump was actually vocally making statements. Now, my last caller tried to defend Trump by saying, but he's not a scientist. Then why the fuck is he talking? Why the hell is he talking about scientific shit if he's not a scientist in the middle of a pandemic? We all know he's not a scientist. So why are you out here saying I know more about COVID than anybody if you're not a scientist? Then don't talk. That's when you appear on TV with the scientists next to you and you let them talk. Then we could start focusing on the scientists who got it wrong. But when you're on TV saying shit, like you know it and saying I know more about COVID than anybody and it'll be gone away by April and it's a hoax and all that. Why are you saying all this if you're not a scientist? No accountability for that at all. And just go after Dr. Fauci. Okay, like I said, if Dr. Fauci had operated under Trump's term, Trump had won in 2020, this whole thing would not be happening. Dr. Fauci's biggest error is he continued working under Biden. That's all this is. That's all this is. Looking in the comments, thought she was responsible for his, thought she, what are you saying, conservative? Thought she was responsible for his actions and the deaths that came with it. I don't understand what you're talking about, but whether he was hired or not, he's still responsible for his actions. Okay, I'm willing to entertain that, but if you hire someone and they fuck up, how do you not get held accountable for hiring them? That's the point I'm making. A perfect example, I often bring up Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard stated that Iran was not developing a nuclear bomb. Her job was to find out if they, as the head of intel, her job was to find out if Iran was developing a nuclear bomb. According to Trump, they were only weeks away from getting the bomb, and if they had got it, they would have used it by now. That's what Trump said. He's saying that we were in dire straits. His head of intel was saying there was nothing to worry about. Why wasn't she fired? Why wasn't she fired? This is what I'm talking about. If we're going after the lower people and ignoring the guy who's giving them the job, if she missed the call like that, assuming Trump is telling the truth and not lying, and that's where the missing link is, the fact is Trump is lying. But let's take Trump's word as fact, that if we had not have attacked him, they would have had a bomb by now and they would have used it. Then that means Tulsi Gabbard really let us down. She missed something that could have gotten people killed. Why wasn't she fired? So this is what the Trump administration has been doing, is they've been appointing people, and when the people do a bad job, they go after the people and pretend like the guy who appointed them is not guilty of anything. Tulsi Gabbard should have absolutely been fired if what Trump said was accurate. My guess is she wasn't fired because that's a way of admitting what Trump said is not accurate. In the comments here, everybody knows he lies. What have we benefited from his lies? There you go. Defund Democrats' generational welfare plantation section. Huh? It says defund Democrats' generational welfare plantation section 8 for vote programs that normal humans could have free health care. I don't know. Do you believe that only people receiving Section 8 in welfare are Democrats? So you go to a state like Idaho or a blood red state like Wyoming, nobody there's getting Section 8, nobody there's getting welfare, huh? Okay, all right, I'm learning something. Only Democrats, huh? If you believe that, maybe Trump was behind COVID the whole time. I don't want to jump up like that. All I want to say is this: Dr. Fauci did not operate in a vacuum. He actually had folks above him. He can't do this shit on his own. If Dr. Fauci let down the American people, somebody else should be held accountable for letting him do that. I'm not hearing that. That's all I'm saying is I'm not hearing that. And I'm hearing from MAGA Reacts nothing but a whole bunch of excuses for why Trump's lying on TV should be excused. I mean, you're not a scientist. Why are you saying that, I know more about COVID than anybody? Why would you go on TV and even say something like that? That's just a flat out lie. But we're going to go after Dr. Fauci for the incorrect statements. That one's okay, though. All right, looking in the comments here real quick before we move it on. You do realize 60% enrichment was enough for an unsophisticated nuke. Yeah, I want to point that out because you're talking about Iran had enriched their uranium or whatever to 60%. And you're saying that was enough for an unsophisticated, I know it was enough for a dirty bomb or whatever. Here's a problem I think that could be developing in the future. Trump is now allowing the Saudis to enrich uranium for energy, not weapons grade, but for energy. And that's how it allegedly started with Iran. That's how it kind of started with the Ukraine for a minute there too. But the point I'm making is with Trump, because I don't think any other president would have allowed the Saudis to do that. Trump is profiting from the Saudis, so he's doing things with them. And you heard Dencal point out the jet with Qatar after being on audio saying that this is a nation that is, deeply involved in terrorism. MAGA Reacts tried to make it a difference between paying for terrorism and actually committing it. I don't see any difference. To me, it doesn't matter if you take a shot at me or you pay somebody to do it. It's the same shit as far as I'm concerned. You're just I want you gone either way. Doesn't matter if you done it or you paid somebody to do it. You're just as guilty. But you got Trump on tape saying that Qatar is paying for terrorism. Now he's taking jets from them. So I don't know. Like I said, people are excusing Trump for stuff that I don't think they would excuse anybody else for. And I certainly say that with Fauci. Fauci gave the money to his buddy, the president of Eco Health Alliance, who did the work, who helped do the work in Wuhan. I'm going to stick with what I said. I don't think that anything Dr. Fauci was doing was clandestine. You're not going to be at Fauci's level working with the Chinese government on a virus without your bosses knowing about that. They knew what Dr. Fauci was doing. So if it goes awry, the government is culpable in that. That's what Denkow was saying. Just like I keep bringing up the atomic program during World War II. If we're working on developing a nuclear bomb and it goes off and kills a bunch of people, that doesn't just fall on the scientists rather. The scientist is working on behalf of the government. This is a sanctioned, U.S. sanctioned program. There's no way in hell Dr. Fauci was doing that in secrecy. The American government knew what he was doing. You say MAGA Rex, you're saying that Fauci was the top boss in the NIH. Doesn't matter. The NIH got to report to somebody above them. You think the top boss in the Department of Education or the EPA or any other federal organization, they got to report to the president. You can't just go work with China and the president don't know nothing about it. You still got to report to people. So they still knew. I mean, you're trying to make it sound like Dr. Fauci was doing this with China and no one else knew. No one above him, nobody, none of the top brass, none of the White House, none of them knew about it, huh? I don't believe that. Looking in the comment section here, it says, and I see in the comment somebody said I can't win with him. I see Denkow says me either. All right. Everybody knows us. I don't know what's happening with my screens, but look, here's what I don't get in regards to Dr. Fauci also. He's been pardoned. He's been pardoned. What was the purpose of questioning the guy? I mean, he's not going to say anything that's going to change the hearts and minds of anybody. Either you're going to say some shit like what I was saying, which is he didn't do it in a vacuum, and if he's accountable, other people should be held accountable too. That's one of three positions. My position is kind of in the middle. Position one is defend Dr. Fauci as doing nothing wrong. Position three is convict Fauci as doing everything wrong. So you got folks who are going to say Fauci is 100% innocent, people who are going to say he's 100% guilty. I'm in the middle. My position is if he did something wrong, he didn't do it in a vacuum. So pursue the people involved. So that's the way I see it. But at the end of the day, folks want to convict this guy, which is what his lawyers realized, which is why Dr. Fauci went there and pled no contest 100 and some odd times. And I agree with that. I don't see anybody changing their opinion on Dr. Fauci, no matter what he said the other day. The people who believe Fauci is responsible for a whole lot of COVID deaths, there's no question he could have said they were going to change their minds. They wanted him. The reason Fauci was there, they wanted accountability. It doesn't matter what he says. We want accountability. The other side, like I said, they're going to defend Fauci no matter what. But because you're not going to change anybody's hearts and minds, and the guy's already gotten a pardon, I don't see the reason you're going to have these questions to begin with. It's a waste of time. He's been pardoned, so nothing's going to come out of this. What was the purpose? But I do agree with you, MAGA Reaction in the comments. They should have gave him immunity. But that would have just pissed off MAGA. If they had gave Dr. Fauci immunity, a person that MAGA believes is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths, then MAGA would have been pissed off. MAGA don't want answers. MAGA wants accountability of Fauci. MAGA wants a conviction. They don't want to hear what he got to say. They want him locked up. At best, they wanted him to get up there and perjure himself so they could come up with a reason to lock him up. They don't give a shit what he got to say. They already convicted him. Doesn't matter what he says. They already know they already know how they feel about him. They wanted accountability. And fortunately for Fauci, he was smart enough to realize this is just a witch hunt. Why would I go up here and say anything? And he didn't say anything. Fauci was learning on the fly. I don't believe he helped make COVID. I don't know tomorrow, so I'm not going to exonerate him. I'm not going to convict him. But I do, as I keep saying, believe that other members of our government knew what was going on. They knew what was going on, and they just are trying to use Fauci as a fall guy. We can't have medical professionals lying to the public. Well, the problem is when you're a medical professional, it's called a practice. It's called a practice. Just like if you were to get brain cancer, they're going to recommend chemo. They may recommend some holistic approaches. They may recommend some herbal therapies. They don't know for certain what's going to work. They're giving you their best. They're giving you what they believe is the best chance. There's no guarantee. Many would believe that Dr. Fauci was doing the same thing. It's a novel virus. It's brand new. So there's no way this guy can guarantee you he knows exactly what he's talking about. They never experienced it. So he was giving you just like when it came with HIV. It took a bunch of trials, and there's clips of Dr. Fauci talking about how they treated HIV patients as well. It takes a bunch of trials to come to some sort of test, but you don't know. Here's what I don't get. Is the criticism that you can't go on TV and lie when you're a physician, but it's okay somehow to do it when you're president. That makes no sense to me. We're actually holding a medical professional to a higher standard than the leader of the free world. He's the president of the United States. There are far more people listening to Trump than there are Fauci. He's the president of the leader of the free world. Well, but he's not a scientist though. And didn't get on TV and talk about shit you don't know. Simple as that. Trump is above the law, says Big Rick. Yeah, perhaps. They're all lies, bro. They know what they're doing. Okay, fair enough. But look, if we're in the middle of a pandemic and people are dropping dead, I don't care if you're a town mayor, if you're in a position of leadership and you go on TV and lie, you should be held accountable for that. The fact that you don't have a doctorate behind you should not excuse that. You don't go on television and give folks instructions and information about shit you don't know, unless you preface it by saying, in my opinion, or I think this, or make it clear to the people that you're not sure. My best guess is this might happen. You don't get on TV and say, I know more about COVID than anyone. That's just a lie. Now you're making it sound like maybe you don't want to study up on some shit. Maybe you've been in the room with the doctors and shit. Why are you saying you know more about it than anybody? That's just a lie. We don't hold them accountable for that. Huh? I'm more curious about what's the name of this new group and what's this about the Tucker. Well, you're talking about Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think they've named it yet. They're claiming that they got this new movement coming out. I don't know where it goes, though, in the comments, Stephen Garcia. I don't know where it goes because Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, all of them folks, they are essentially, most of them are podcasters, to be honest with you, but do they really have a party? They've gotten kicked out of MAGA. The Democrats have no love. They'll never be a Democrat. They would have to create a whole new party, I guess. I don't know how that works. Now, they may gain some steam once Trump is gone, because there are a lot of people who really want MAGA. Trump promised MAGA. He didn't deliver on it. But MAGA is about making America great, being, nationalism. He didn't deliver on any of that. So once Trump is out of the way, they would probably absorb a lot of former MAGA, and then they could potentially be a strong group. I don't know. If Fauci is a fraud, why are we listening to RFK? Damn, that's a hell of a question. Nardy boy, I agree with that 100%. He has the same medical accreditation as Dr. J and Dr. Dre. Get the fuck out of here. That's a great point. That's a great point. In regards to appointing, you guys always talk about how Kamala Harris was not qualified. What fucking qualification does RFK have? Yeah, he really is one that should not. He's the head of the Center for Disease Control. He really is unqualified. He's probably the most unqualified person that I can think of that's been appointed to a job in my lifetime. And I think he's even less qualified than Hegseth. At least Hegseth did serve in the military. This guy has no medical background whatsoever. He sued some medical companies. That's about it. So yeah, RFK is really, really unqualified. Then you not only is he unqualified, but then he's admitted to being formerly hooked on heroin and eating roadkill and eating genitalia. I mean, this dude is weird. That dude is fucking weird. So we're talking about RFK Kennedy. So yeah, I really don't understand that one. Or you said he's the head of HHS. Well, all of the CDC is in all of that. MAGA reacts. All of that's he's the head of Health and Human Services. I believe the CDC is part of that, is it not? He should not be the head of Health and Human Services. How about that? He does not have any sort of medical background to be the head of Health and Human Services. He should not. Trump's approval is down to 32%. He should keep doing what he is doing. No, because he's hurting people to get those low approval ratings. I get where you're going with it. You want him gone, but people are suffering to get that. Like ICE, what they're doing. People are paying the price for them his approval ratings to get down there. They will all join the Flat Earth Party, says User Guy. I don't know what to say about that. Obama is the GOAT, Big Bo. See, I don't think Obama's the GOAT. I think Obama was a successful president. I wouldn't call him the GOAT. I don't know what he's done to make him be categorized as the greatest president of all time. I wouldn't put Obama in that range. Big Brother Tim, you don't miss the rest of us enough to say, hey, let's get it together, other than gotta move it on with the program. Well, Mercy, I got multiple screens aimed at me. So, the super chat changes the screen color. So when somebody sends me a super chat, I don't care if it's 99 cents. I see all of those because it changes my screen colors. But if you're typing just a regular letter, a note like you're typing, I've got multiple screens. Those things are flying all over the place. So I read them when I see them, but they look like hundreds of other messages that are coming through. So they don't stand out. So I only see some of them. Biden is the most successful president in my lifetime. I'm 45. Biden? How? Biden? He only got one term. Well, I don't know if he would have won the second term anyway. How is Biden the most successful? I think Obama was more successful than Biden. I don't know. I mean, we'd have to sit down and go through the metrics of why you're saying that. I mean, the economy. I think the economy under Obama was better than Biden because, Biden inherited the pandemic and had to fix that and things like that. Whereas Obama inherited Obama inherited Bush's housing crisis and Bush's economy and wars too, by the way. So Obama ended the wars. He ended the faltering economy. And what was the other one I mentioned? He ended 3 different things. So I think Obama probably was more successful than Biden. Not to mention how you feel about universal health care. We could talk about that as well. But I mean, also too, now I know this is going to fall on deaf ears for my folks on the right, but Obama also gave the gay community the right to get married. I mean, that is millions of people, regardless of how you feel about it. I mean, he did legalize gay marriage. So at least for that community, that counts for something. If you think Lucifer or Satan is real, then why worship Jesus? Because he's not God. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to leave that one alone. Joe Biden's key actions include appointing Ketanji Brown Jackson as the first black female Supreme Court justice, signing the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act and establishing Juneteenth a federal holiday. Well, if you're only focusing on what Biden did for black people, then okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, yeah, Biden he certainly did more for African Americans in terms of the stuff you're naming than Obama did, or anybody in your lifetime if you're 45. So I'll agree with that, but America has a lot more people in it than just black folks. But if you want to just only talk about what president has done more for African Americans in your lifetime? Yeah, in the last 45 years. Yeah, Biden would be. Yeah, I could agree with that part. If Biden did what you said, all the more reason to vote Republican. Well, if you don't like Juneteenth, as he brought up, yeah, I mean, if you don't like most of the stuff that pertains to black people, which a lot of Republicans don't, yeah, I get your point. I mean, that's why African Americans don't tend to side with the Republican Party. The Republican Party is not based on my personal analysis, and you can tell me when you think I'm wrong, but in my personal analysis, the Republican Party is not allies to the black community. I mean, most of the things the black community talks about, wants, feels that is happening you guys disagree with all of that stuff. Most of the stuff the black community is saying is either wrong in the eyes of Republicans or not an issue worth discussing. All the way up from the minimum wage increase is something the African American community wants. Most of the African American community in urban cities want. Common sense gun laws, universal health care, tuition forgiveness. These are all things the black community would overwhelmingly favor. Certainly they want criminal justice reform. They want you to pay more attention to corrupt cops. Oh, you guys are against all of that stuff, or in the case of racial issues, you say it's not an issue at all. So yeah, it wouldn't make much sense for the typical African American to vote Republican. Now, the African Americans that do vote Republican, when you listen to the issues they talk about and what they're concerned with, if you wrote it on paper, you wouldn't think an African American was saying that stuff. I mean, you listen to Tim Scott, write what Tim Scott or Byron Donald says down on paper, and you would probably think that somebody else, you wouldn't think an African American was writing that stuff down. Because most of the issues the African American community are concerned with, they're on the other side of it. Like Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum doesn't sound like anything. All of the controversial police shootings that the African American community talks about, Officer Tatum's on the other side. He's saying that all of these shootings were justifiable. He's on the other side of all of that stuff. You know, he's the guy that's talking about Blue Lives Matter and stuff like that. So, and that's what you would get out of Tim Scott, or you would get out of Byron Donalds, or most African American conservatives. Then maybe that's what, that's what's maybe going on in their lives. I get it, but I'm just simply saying what the average African American is concerned with. The Republican Party is on the opposite side of that, which is why you don't have a lot of African Americans voting Republican. Borders, you mean borders? Maggot, do you live on the... God, you guys talk about the border. Borders is when someone stays in your house. Maggots are retards. Be nice to my MAGA. If the Democrats wanted to win the presidency in 2028, they got to get a guy that's going to leave the Second Amendment alone, and it has to be a man. I agree with some of that. Actually, all of that. I actually agree with all of that. I absolutely think that if you're running for president, try to get as close to the middle as you can. I've said before, straight, white, Christian male. The country, there's too much sexism in the country to think a woman could do it. The homophobia is off the fucking chain. So you're certain, like Pete Buttigieg looks like he's flirting with running again. Straight white Christian male. I don't think even a person of color, racism is still alive and well. Some would argue it's gotten worse in the last few years. Straight white Christian male. And yeah, you start talking about fucking with the Second Amendment, it's probably going to be to your detriment. But I will say President Trump broke a lot of those rules. During Trump's first term, he talked about taking people's guns away and then giving them due process. He actually implemented a bump stock ban. But the Trump is unique. Is no matter what MAGA stands for, Trump could go against that and MAGA will just follow him. So Trump is a unique candidate. He can do, like MAGA, formerly Republicans, they're the ones who voted in Bush, they're the ones who voted for Romney, they're the ones who voted for McCain, they're the ones who voted for Reagan. Trump's on TV said, I never asked God for forgiveness in my life. You don't even know what church he goes to. MAGA is full of evangelicals and folks that are, Christians and all. This guy comes along, he ain't none of that. He's cheated on every wife he's had, some with strippers and porn stars. MAGA's following all of that stuff. He is the exact opposite of what MAGA asked for in many areas. And in the areas he favors what MAGA asked for, he flips and they just follow him throughout the flip. So when it comes to Trump, he is a once in a lifetime candidate. I mean, he can violate the principles that the Republican Party stands on, and they'll just follow him wherever he goes. Whereas the Democrats don't have anybody like that. Even Obama. There were plenty of African Americans saying Obama didn't do shit for black people. We didn't just follow whatever Obama did and say, yay, that's great. If he did something that went against what the party wanted, they pointed it out. Whereas in Trump's case, I mean, he's making major moves going against like the Epstein files. That was huge in the eyes of MAGA. He went against it? Okay, well, we're still riding with him. I mean, so he's different. He's different. So, but I do agree, straight white Christian male going into the 2020 election. And don't fuck with gun rights. But, just for a disclaimer, this Mamdani, this socialism type shit, I normally would say you need to be as close to the center as you can. But this shit is working. The Democrats are now looking in 2026 like the Republicans were in 2015 when Trump was running. Trump was going against everything that Republicans traditionally stood for, and everybody thought Jeb Bush was the guy. No, people wanted something radically different. They were tired of the status quo, and Trump won by quite a bit. I'm telling you, that may happen with these socialist candidates. Everybody is saying, including me, that you kind of want to stay moderate and not get ridiculously far to the left. But Trump is proving you can go ridiculously far to the right and win. Trump has went way far to the right. He's nowhere near moderate, nowhere near the center. And his side loves him. So maybe it's possible that you could get a Democrat candidate to go way far to the left and win. Trump has proven it can be done in the other direction. So I don't know, but I'm just simply saying these socialist candidates have a huge following. Just like, remember when Bernie Sanders was running in 2015, way far to the left. That man had a lot of energy and love. He was filling up stadiums and shit. Maybe the abnormal is about to become the normal. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate you with the 100 and some odd likes on YouTube. I was not able to ride the program out on TikTok because they ended up dropping us for talking about the vaccine and the virus and shit like that. But we can run programs like this in the future. You can come up live on Clapper, you come up live on Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. So if you enjoy what we're doing, follow the program if you're watching on any of the platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, I need you to right now smash that like button. And if you will, if you enjoy this type of dialogue, we're here most weekdays, also hit that subscribe. But certainly, for the sake of this program right now, smash that like button. It will help me out. And thank you. Middle ground is best for everyone. Yeah, I agree. But middle ground is not getting shit. Middle ground is best to get everybody to the polls. But the middle ground status quo is not what's best for the American people. Fact is, our capitalistic system is why people are starting to investigate whether socialism might be a good idea or not. People aren't doing well. People are having a hard time maintaining health care. They're having a hard time getting paid a decent salary or even maintaining rent and buying food. That's what we've gotten by being close to the center. People like, I want something else. The people in the center are making it. The people in the center are running our government so that the rich get richer and the poor get poor. That's the version of capitalism we have right now. And people are growing tired of it. So I want to agree with you. You want to be near the center, but the status quo is what's running people away. It's what ran the Republicans away from Jeb Bush. It's now it's what ran the Democrats away from Hillary Clinton too. It's so the status quo ain't working. People are not doing very well financially under the status quo. So I can easily see these socialist candidates. I'll just say like this before I close. I'll say this last statement in closing. The right has been demonizing socialism for a long time, and it has been working. Socialism will never work in America, they say. Communism won't work in America, whatever you want to say. And it has been working in regards to preventing any socialist candidate from actually getting in office. Mamdani has gotten through, and he is now the mayor of America's largest city. The point I'm making is this. Now that he's mayor, if New York doesn't start falling apart really quick, socialist candidates are going to become very cool and very heavily desired. If the people of New York keep cheering this stuff on, what's going on, and it looks like they're happy, you're going to start having a lot more American cities and even governors and potentially presidential candidates running as socialists. New York better fall apart like you folks on the right have been saying. You've been telling us this the whole time. Now that one of them have gotten through, what you said better come to fruition. He better really destroy New York. If it looks like it's being ran somewhat, successfully, you're going to have these people popping up everywhere. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all take care. Have a good